Hey, sorry about that.
Nerdotic. My name is Gary Beekler, and I come to you from Nerdotic.com, and we are live. And Comics decides to show up. Hi.
Hey, dude. Sorry about that. How's it going, man? How's it going?
It's going good, and I've got a little thing that shows me this Hangout on Air is live. Hangout on Air is going away later this year for quick streaming. Try YouTube webcam.
What?
What? Their webcam sucks. Jesus Christ, YouTube. Oh well, I guess I'm gonna have to use OBS eventually. No sound. There's no sound. You can hear me, right?
I can hear you just fine, man.
That's fine. Yeah, somebody says no sound. Can you hear me? Hit F in the chat. They're saying no sound. They say hail. But I don't know if anybody can hear me yet. So I'm just gonna wait until somebody can hear me. I hear you. Okay, that's good. God damn it, I hate when people do that. No sound.
Okay, yeah, I can
Thank
hear you.
you.
It's fine. I tested.
Yeah. Look at that. Wow. Everybody's F and F you. No, I'm just kidding. F me. F me.
F us both.
So we're here for Friday Night Tights. It's going to be a salty one tonight. I found a bunch of stuff that'll just completely trigger me and piss me off. And well, what the hell? Let's share it with everybody else. It's good to see everybody. My God, I can't even keep track of this. Wow. Nitram. I'm going to slow it down a little bit. Ryan Shivanden, Bear, Esteban Vasquez, Steve Rogers is here. Oh, Steve, old man. Is it old man Steve? Oduk, Heronborough, Thomas Preston, Shinton Ketchup, Diversity in Comics Bear, Hologram Numchuck, Artemis Over Easy has come out of hibernation to come back to his wrench duties. I love that. Kaylee, the Cinema Queen, you're a co-host. Chris Persia and the wrench and Case. Okay, so we're gonna let some more people roll in here. Dude, how are you doing?
Doing all right, man. It's been one of those days.
It's been one of those days, huh? Yeah, it's been one of those weeks here at the house.
Yeah, it's kind of how it's been here too.
Yeah, dude. We have some house issues, which are going to really dig into what was going to be. That is what's really bringing on the GoFundMe for the comic shop. It's not something I would normally ask for, but what the hell? I'm going to give it a shot. I probably will set it up next week. I got to kind of figure out like how much we need to ask for. It's going to start out as a website. So Neurotic.com is going to turn into a comic shop fairly soon, hopefully by the holidays. We've got somebody to build the website, and then we're going to do a pop-up in San Francisco, and then eventually brick and mortar, but that's down the road. And it's not going to be selling new comic. The only new comic books I will agree to sell pamphlet style will be Indiegogo comics from our friends here on YouTube. If they want to do that route, if they don't, that's fine too. That's okay. Whoever's up for it, I'd be willing to sell their comic books here in San Francisco, even in the pop-up shop. And it would be semi kind of trolling, but that's life. That's life. Brick and mortar in California. No, it'll probably not be in California. I never thought I would leave my home state, but I am working my way towards it.
It's a wise decision, actually. I highly recommend it.
It's just not worth paying that much to live here. And it's just not. And it's a pain in the ass. So, yes, I'll be selling trade paperbacks. That's why, especially I was a little bummed to hear that Baker Taylor was going out. And I'm like, now I have to work with Diamond. God damn it. But there's an old article, old as in like a month old. I think I showed this to you last week, Comics. Did I not show this to you? From The Guardian. That asks the question. I'm surprised this question doesn't get asked more, to be honest with you. Let's take a look at this.
Why are comic shops closing as superheroes make meant? I'm pretty sure I've seen that briefly. I don't know if I actually read it all the way through, but I have seen it floating around.
Yeah, it just passed me by for some reason. I just don't go to The Guardian very much. This probably came out like in the middle of Game of Thrones when that was taking over my life as well. So yeah, we're gonna go over this real quick, and I'll try to answer these questions. Let's see, Comics, if they approach one of the reasons, which I doubt they will. But
no, I seriously doubt it.
Why are comic shops closing as superheroes make a mint? The latest Avengers film is expected to take in $1 billion in its opening week, which it did. But the shops that are those characters' natural homes are battling to stay in business. With Avengers Endgame set to break box office records, it is predicted to make $1 billion in its first week. It seems that the superhero business really is the one to be in Hollywood, at least. And I will add, as I always do, very temporarily. But what of the medium in which the superhero originated, the comic book, and the purveyors of the hundreds of comic books that are released every month? The high street is not on, the high street is not as bulletproof as multiplexes, and comic shops are having a tough time of it. I'm glad they mentioned the multiplexes. It's like the movies are doing well, but where the movies come from are not doing well, and where you watch the movies are not doing well.
That's also very true.
That is true. And you would think that Disney would have some sort of interest in keeping both of these things alive. I think we're going to start seeing, I think this Christmas, we're going to see the repercussions in the toy industry from Toys R Us being gone.
Well, another big shop just closed down.
What's that?
Oh shit! Bleeding Cool had an article about it. I briefly saw it. Let me see if I can go pull it up.
In the meantime, so with Toys R Us being gone, we're going to see that felt through with toys. I mean, Target and Walmart can fill the hole a little bit, but not very much. Now, we also heard that Barnes & Noble got bought up by a hedge fund. I had read somewhere that this hedge fund is going to close it down, but we had somebody come into the chat, and listen, anybody can come in the chat, but I have no reason.
I thought Barnes & Noble was already closed. No, not Barnes & Noble. I'm sorry. I'm thinking Borders. Never mind. Don't mind.
Yeah. Barnes & Noble, they say that this hedge fund bought another bookstore in Europe, and it's going gangbusters right now. So I don't know. Yeah, Ryan Krager and Matt Joseph and Jay Goodson, we are actually going to talk about Think Geek closing down, because that kind of relates to Doctor Who merchandising.
Oh, wow.
So
that's going to be a big hit.
It's going to be a major hit. Now, they sold more tchotchkes and stuff like that, but that's actually what sells better for Doctor Who, is like the cups and freaking underwear and stuff like that. So dozens of closures, it's more than dozens of closures have been reported across the UK and the US over the last few months, including in January, the end of St. Mark's Comics, one of New York's most venerable institutions. It even appeared in Sex and the City. Last year, comics website Bleeding Cool documented how 50 comic shops had closed in the previous year in both the US and the UK. And since June 2018, at least 21 shops in the US and 11 in the UK, including shops in Nottingham, Ramsgate, and Tooting. I want to live in Tooting. I used to do a lot of tooting, have closed, and others likely going unreported. Well, if you guys watched my video, which a lot of people didn't, I'm a little disappointed, but and it's probably because of the recommendations, because it had the word meth in the title, but I wasn't going to take that out. DC Comics were recently used to smuggle meth to Australia. We will go over that a little later.
Hilarious.
It's freaking hilarious. While superheroes have never had a higher profile, the gap between cinema and comics has never been wider. The days when you could pick the latest issue of Spider-Man and Batman from the new Newsgate's shelves are long gone. Last week, comic writer Ron Mars tweeted that during a presentation to a school class, one girl raised her hand and asked him where she could actually buy comics. Now, I could tell you right now, Comics Division, it was once a week somebody would walk into my store, and this is 5 years ago, 10 years ago, and go, they're still making comic books. Yeah, it wasn't unusual to hear that.
For long.
Not for long. So Ron Mars is actually, it's funny that they have him here, Comics Division, because he's one of those
absolutely
people. Yeah, he's one of those people that's responsible for this. So
yes, he is.
Ron Mars, look in the goddamn mirror, dude.
Seriously, man.
Superheroes have never. Yeah. So we're gonna go over this, and then I'm gonna tell you the real reason. So why are so many going down out of business? Like other retailers on high street, comic books must factor in rents, business rates, staff wages, insurance, but the profit margins on comics are narrow as to make this very delicate balancing act. There isn't a huge profit in comics and graphic novels, says Jared Myland of OK Comics in Leeds. Nobody gets into comic retailing to be a millionaire. No, we don't. We do it because we love comics. Unfortunately, closures are more and more common topic on both sides of the pond. Most comic shops make enough to get by if they make cuts, but some retailers depend on the generosity of the family and friends to help support the shop. Going forward, those who are going to survive are either just the juggernaut shops that just do well, trust fund shops where it's like 5 or 6 guys who do it for a hobby, and they take, that's the only way it could survive. If you want to make a living off it, it's generally not going to happen unless you've been established in the industry for a long time. One of the unique challenges in comic shops is the monthly gamble on what will sell. Comics released every few weeks, as opposed to the collected editions available in bookshops or on Amazon, are unreturnable, with 600 to 1,000 such items published every month. Stores make educated guesses or be stuck with their mistakes. At OK Comics, 90% of what Mylan gets in our pre-orders, and the rest put on the shelves for casual customers. Smart retailers would rather underorder than overorder, he says, and that is the inherent flaw of the direct market and why it should have been dissolved a long time ago. You want to know something funny, comics division?
What's that?
I was a newbie comic shop owner. I went to my second retailer summit, and I made the horrid mistake of getting up and asking why are comics non-returnable anymore. And I got laughed at, resoundingly laughed at by everybody. Yeah.
Why were you laughed at?
Because it was such a ridiculous thing to bring up. It was like, are you kidding me? What? And they basically treated me like newbie, which I was, but sometimes it takes fresh eyes to look at things. And, I was embarrassed because I apparently had asked just some dumb newbie question, and maybe it was, but times tend to change things in perspectives and context. And, but I kept asking that, knowing it would never happen. I was pretty excited when Comics Pro started, because I kind of thought, I was again naive, and I thought it would work. It would find a way. Comics Pro was initially created by Brian Hibbs and I think Rory Root, maybe Joe Field. I don't know. I can't remember if it was Joe Field or not. He was around. He's the guy who created Free Comic Book Day. Is it Four Color Comics? Four Color Comics in Concord. So this has been a problem for a long time, and the reason the comic book retailers, and I'll use my I statements on this. Not a lot of us are the biggest go-getters in the world. Okay. And it's very much a type of business that fosters complacency. And I don't mean to sound super evil about that, but that's kind of what it does. And I really was always for comics being, I wanted comics back in 7-Elevens. I wanted them in Walmarts. I wanted them in Targets. I wanted them in grocery stores, because that would be more readers to come to us. Because God, I remember when the Warehouse Records started selling comics, and they were going to do a pull box and everything. Yeah,
wow,
they were going to do it.
Man. That brings back some memories. They're no more now.
Nope. But it sucks, because this could have been dealt with a long time ago, a long time ago. But the biggest problem is Diamond is a giant monolith that will never change, and Marvel and DC have no interest in it. And I've always
probably change when they go out of business.
Yeah, right.
By the way, so the shop that closed is Have Fun Collectibles in Moline, Illinois.
That sucks, man.
Yeah.
And how long ago was that?
This was posted on June 10th, so
June
4
10th.
days ago.
Jesus.
Yeah.
I haven't been paying attention to what Brian's doing with the second store. I can't see him keeping it very long, but I haven't seen him post anything on his Facebook. I am amazingly blocked by nobody. I don't know if I'm not doing good enough or, but I can go to Remphamous's Twitter. She doesn't even know who I am, which is probably good.
It's probably for the best.
Yeah.
I'm not blocked by her either, but I blocked her because I just don't give a shit.
Yeah, I probably should.
I don't need anything that I say for her to collect and use to try and use against me. It's just like whatever.
So I'm not going to read this whole thing. I'm going to tell you what it's going to say because it's going to say what all the other articles have said. Digital comics, more expensive comics, variants, oversaturation. They probably won't mention overships. Now, overships were a thing when I was around, but it wasn't terrible. You know,
it's still a thing.
Yeah, I'm sure it is, and I'm sure it's much worse. And that's what I'm hearing. I'm hearing that like they're overshipping like quantities of 20 and 30. Like my overships will be like 5. They give me like 5 extra ones. Thanks, Mike Brown. He says I'm too cool to block. Stop it. But what they're not going to mention is, of course, Comicsgate, customer service. I mean, this goes deeper than Comicsgate. I know some people hear that and they go, okay, Comicsgate was a consumer movement. It's turned into something else. It's a lot of things, like most people are. It's a lot of things. It's very diverse. But and it's a very diverse group, actually, too. But it was necessary. It's a natural reaction to what happened in the comic book industry. And this was solely created by the creators and the editors. The Joe Quesadas, the Ron Marses of the world, Mark Wade's. You've heard this. We've been going on for 2 years on this, and they still really haven't changed. They've dialed some stuff back. I hear. I don't bother reading Marvel, so that's pretty sad. Been a Marvel. We're talking 4 decades of reading Marvel, over 4 decades of reading Marvel. And now I don't even care. I love reading the old stuff, but it's a natural reaction to what happened. And what happened was politics and a lack of customer service. Now, the way the creatives treat fans on Twitter, they would have treated you that way all along. Say if there was a social media in the 70s, it would have been the same way. Okay. There is this hashtag not all. There's a lot of creatives who respect the fan, and there's some who actually still love comics, but we've lost generations ago. We lost the John Byrnes of the world. John Byrne loves comic books. All he wants to do is draw comic books. He doesn't want to write Hollywood scripts, direct a Hollywood movie. All he wanted to ever do was do comic books. And sometimes he was hard to deal with. He has a very dark sense of humor, like an extremely dark sense of humor, edgy humor to the nth degree. But all my experiences with him, which, we're just on the phone, we're really nice guy, like really nice guy and fun to talk to. Like he'll talk to you about anything. You see Star Trek, he'll freaking talk to you about Star Trek. Like a true nerd. We miss that. We have an industry, and I always said this a long time ago, and it was nice to hear your boy Zach say it. It's a self-loathing industry. They don't really have a lot of respect for themselves. A lot of people have one foot out the door. I mean, this is all stuff you've heard before, but that's what is behind the attack on the fans. It's a lot of self-loath, a lot of insecure people in the comic book industry, which they shouldn't be, but that's life. But with that insecurity comes the inability to be humble. I know it sounds weird. I have a low self-esteem, but I'm, kind of narcissistic and egotistical. Yeah, because it's a defense mechanism. So a lot of that lash out comes out from when a customer, listen, the internet's going to internet and do what it's going to do, but now they can hear directly that criticism and they just can't take it, but they still want to be on the internet for some reason. You know, if it's really making you that miserable to where you're attacking people who you're paying for your bills, your growing bills.
Yeah, but they don't see it that way. You know, a lot of them are trying to push, you know, their ideology and political agendas. And if you disagree with them, you're the enemy, which is not always the case, right? We're allowed to have differences of opinions and a difference of how, you know, politics should work and whatnot. That's life. We're not a bunch of fucking clones. And the issue is that when you have a different viewpoint than them, you are immediately being othered and, you know, being called a Nazi and all the isms and ists and whatnot by these, you know, by these pros. And that's one of the huge issues that's affecting the industry, at least from a consumer standpoint. Now, obviously, and we've already talked about this before, there's lots of factors that are playing into the decline of comics. Bad customer service and fighting with your fans is one of them. It's just another nail in the coffin.
And instead of maybe listen, you don't have to publicly say you're sorry. I know some people want that, but you don't. But maybe just shut up. Maybe just be quiet. Maybe step away for a little while. But I saw this on a young Ripa, the great young Ripa, monetize your haters, on one of his live streams, and he asked the question, have we passed the point of no return?
I think we have.
The answer is yes. We're there.
I think it happened. I think it happened last year.
Yep. I think when 50 comic stores closed within a very short time, I don't know what the time frame was. I'm thinking 6 months. Was it a 6 month? Or they said a year, but I think it was shorter. I think that was it. Losing Two Cats Comics, which apparently just a year before was doing fine, and then the bottom dropped out. And that's generally how these things go. I've been working at a couple businesses that went out of business, and we found out about, I mean, like, we're closing. Goodbye. That was it. Here's your last paycheck. See ya. And that's how fast it happens. It's crazy. And so we have the movies coming out. We have all these movies, and they're making tons of money. But no company has to do this, but Disney, I think wants to almost hasten. I think if Disney gets rid of Marvel somehow, or, you know, what I imagine will happen sometime in the future, I'm not saying now, is they'll bring the offices over to the West Coast, kind of like DC did. That's a lot of rent to be paying over on the East Coast. Disney's based over here in Burbank, and they'll probably set something up here and get dialed down. I don't know how many comic shops are left. Have you heard a number lately?
No, I haven't.
It's probably like 2,000 or something like that.
I can probably Google it. The other thing too, I've talked about this, you've talked about this, and we're kind of already seeing it now. I think we're going to get to the point where Marvel Comics is going to start outsourcing their stuff to another company. And you see a few comics that are going over to IDW. There's a Captain Marvel comic book. There's been a Spider-Man. There's a Star Wars comic book. And again, a lot of these are geared for younger audiences, more kids than adults. But I think you're going to see more and more of that. And I do think that Disney is going to shutter Marvel Comics at some point. And I get a lot of pushback when I bring this up on Twitter, and I'm fighting with the people saying, "Oh, the industry's fine. The industry's fine." It's like, no, dude, the industry is not fine. The numbers are being heavily skewed. They're now including the Indiegogos that are going on, and that's how they're kind of like inflating this number. Look how awesome comics are doing right now. It's a great time to be a comic pro. And it's like, no, it's not, unless you're doing your own thing.
Exactly. And they're putting in Scholastic. And I know I've talked about that. That's the books that are sold in schools. So what they're trying to do is they've always included that number, but they include it to go, hey, there is a market for it, which is I mean, honestly, a smart thing to do, but it's not honest, and it's not going to be a market that's ever coming to comic stores. To get kids come shopping at your store again, it was completely possible. It was the retailers had all the goddamn power, and they just didn't do it. I'm not going to say every retailer was lazy. Every guy and gal should run their shop their own way. But I busted my ass to get kids back in there, had birthday parties and stuff, and held events. I started out at a shop that had one female subscriber. No kids walked in there. They were completely creeped out by the place because the previous owner was not the friendliest guy to kids. He had a bunch of porn in there. Had to get rid of that. Had to get the kids in. Had to get more women buying comics, which was very difficult. And I was right next to a goddamn school. I was next to a San Francisco State artsy fartsy college U. I mean, there's a film school there. And I was, by actually trying hard, I was able to get 30 female subscribers out of like 300 subscribers. So, and I tried, and that was pretty good, considering. But we'll get to the super chats in just a sec. This is kind of our opening spiel. We're also going to talk about the Batwoman trailer and the direction of the MCU, and we're going to read a Mary Sue article because I know you all love that. And we'll talk
about sweet cringe.
Talk about the streaming wars. Real quick, because this is quick news. I know I'm shifting. We can talk about this. I could talk about this forever. I know not everybody that wants to hear it. You want to hear about Game of Thrones and stuff, and I certainly want to talk about it. But this is very near and dear to my heart. And Vertigo shutting down, Baker and Taylor going away. That comic store. I'm sorry, I don't think I've even heard of it. But if it's big and it goes down, well, that's another one.
Well, it's probably like the only one that was in Moline, Illinois. So. Yeah. Yeah, there goes their shop. But this is interesting. The numbers I found are from 2016 and 2013, and I haven't been able to find anything really recent. But between 2013 and 2016, 300 comic shops have closed because the number was like 2,600 and some change, and as of 2016, it's 2,306.
Wow. And
so I imagine there's a lot less now, or we're probably about that 2,000 number would be my guess.
Oh man. And it was 3,200 when I bought my store. That was 2003. That was a long time ago, but it was 3,200. So we're down 1,000 in 15 years. That's about the rate at the comic. I mean, if you look at the sales of Amazing Spider-Man in 2007 or 8, they're probably no different or maybe slightly higher than they are now. I mean, it was just a flat line. The whole industry is just a flat line, and it just could not survive bad customer service. And this taint, the reason I bring this up, the reason I'm starting the live stream off with this is because it's spreading, and this taint is spreading into movies. If you take Marvel out of the equation, I haven't done the math, but I don't need to because you guys will just know. If you take Captain Marvel and Endgame out of the equation, Hollywood must be shitting their pants right now. Nothing that's going to come out this summer is going to be a hit unless it's a complete surprise. Men in Black 3, and then they have Chris Hemsworth in it, and they treat him like a co-star to Tessa Thompson, who has, I'm sorry, no, I'm not sorry, I take that back. She has no range. She plays the same smirky, smartass character in Westworld, in Ragnarok, and I imagine in Men in Black, which I'm not going to waste my time seeing. It's going to make what, 24 million this weekend? 24 million. That's what Endgame made in a night, I think.
Yeah.
So they're screwed, and nobody is bringing up Hollywood's act. I mean, you count everything, count Time's Up, count Me Too, count the politics, count the Oscar awards, which they haven't dialed back on at all. I mean, we see more and more, and they're going broke, and they don't know it. And it's not going to last forever. Hollywood could fall apart if there's no big megaplexes to go to. And it sucks because there's a lot of kids. I see the Rookie Critic. He wants to work in Hollywood, and you still can, but honestly, you'd be better off making your own stuff, Rook.
Yeah, you really are better off being an independent dude. And it's not that difficult. All you have to do is get a pretty good, digital camera, and some other stuff, and basically lighting and sound gear, and you're good to go.
So I found out that I have a very good friend who worked on Dark Phoenix.
Really?
But I can't say anything just yet.
Okay.
I got to talk to him first and see if it's okay if I even say anything. And I'm not going to say his name, but good friend. And I know he certainly doesn't agree with everything I say about stuff, but it doesn't matter. Chris Hemsworth has been in 3 movies where he's the implied idiot. Yeah, it's getting old. And I just watched and did a review for the Swamp Thing on Bounding Into Comics channel. Go check it out when you get a chance after this live stream, of course. And as much as I love the Swamp Thing, there was even a little bit of that anti-patriarchy sentiment. They took Sunderland and kind of cucked him out a little bit, which was disappointing and takes away from his character. But that's a minor gripe. It's actually pretty damn brilliant and one of the good things that I would highly recommend you guys go see. If you want to see something good, don't waste your time in a movie. Get a month worth of DC Universe and watch Swamp Thing. It's freaking great. If you liked Ash versus Evil Dead, you will like Swamp Thing. It's got that feel to it. It's really, really cool.
I kind of wonder if maybe they're being obligated to write these things in like it's in their contract, because even with Good Omens, you had 2 incidents that just really kind of came out of nowhere, and it really had like no place in there. But it's like, it seems like these shows or whatnot, it's like it may be in their contract that they have to bring up something, feminist related or social justice related.
I've gotten a lot of emails in the last 48 hours after maybe 72 hours after I mentioned I had insiders in my Star Trek video. All of a sudden, every time I mention it, more and more reach out to me. And I've got one that's really interesting, but I can't say dick right now. It's it's the worst story ever. And I can't wait to bring it to you. But seriously, with what's going on right now, it's man, I wish I could say. I can't. Sorry I even said anything. But Swamp Thing. Yeah, Swamp Thing's worth it, man. Swamp Thing is good. But I think there is a mandate. Now, I've gotten multiple emails telling me, but not showing me any proof, and I understand why people can't, saying that the BBC definitely 100% has a mandate, like has a written mandate of what is supposed to go into what, and right down to percentages.
That's interesting,
but it's
not
only,
surprised.
But it's only seen by a certain few, apparently. It's not a memo that goes around to everybody. But I don't know that for sure. Oh, I also want to mention, verified by my second source today, Picard screenings complete disaster.
Not surprised.
So that's 2 people now, and that's the one I know and talk to. Picard screenings complete disaster. I asked him about Kurtzman. He said he didn't know. My guess with Kurtzman is he maintains his power. They won't rip his name off anything, but he's essentially not in control, which basically means he's fired. If you're not in control, you're fired. I mean, it's basically, they office spaced him, except he's getting paid, that's fine, man. Give him his money, send him on a nice vacation, and bring in Ronald D. Moore, please. Or Rand Shankar, or Mark Zickery.
He needs to take a nice vacation to the moon.
Yes. To the moon, Alex. To the moon. The Dr. 14 Blu-ray reviews, 20 pounds. Gary, you keep saying the BBC does not listen to the viewers, but there is a program called Points of View on BBC One where viewers can send their views on BBC programs like Doctor Who, and the BBC responds to the fan views. I'm sure they respond. It's not going to change anything.
Yeah,
that's good. I'm not necessarily saying they don't listen to the viewers. I'm saying that they don't care what they say.
Yeah.
It's not a matter of listening or not. They're going to do
listening, but we don't care.
Yeah. I mean, the BBC's partisan. That's all.
That's pretty fucking apparent.
Yeah. And my only request is, could you make your show a little less partisan? I didn't even say take the partisan out of it. I'm like, I'm done with it. But I'll review it, but I'm done with it. But it's partisan. And to deny that, I don't know what to tell you then. Go ahead. Let the elite, let the deep state take control and see what happens. Okay. But don't bitch about revolutions and all that crap later when you let it happen.
Mm-hmm.
Mike Brown, $2. Savage build doing Iron Man on first show. In what context, Mike Brown? What's the context for that? Savage builds doing Iron Man. Oh, it's a show. Okay. They're doing Iron Man.
Oh yeah, Savage. It's Adam Savage. He does where he'll build like a model or something.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
I just happen to remember that.
That is cool. I like Adam Savage. He likes The Expanse. C Walker 94, $10. If you get a Plex.tv account free. Oh, I got it. If you get a Plex.tv account free, I can add you to my Plex server. You can watch Chernobyl without signing up to HBO again. I have all the episodes plus many other TV shows. Definitely DM me. Yes. Great. I want to see Chernobyl and I will review it. I'll review it. I heard
it's good.
I heard it's really good.
It's really fucking good.
I heard it's very harsh on socialism too.
Yes, it definitely takes the piss out of communism a lot.
Blue-Eyed Scorpio, which is very interesting coming from HBO. But now see, that's the thing is a lot of people want to say that I won't say progressive, all the left are socialist, and they're not. They're clearly not. Believe me, I know a bunch here that are 100% capitalist. Blue-Eyed Scorpio, but they are older. That's the thing. That's usually the case. $1.99. Did they cancel Swamp Thing because he's a toxic male?
But the Toxic Avenger got canceled because he is a toxic male.
God damn. It's right there. It's the most obvious joke. It's on the nose as hell, and it's still funny. It's still funny, Blue-Eyed Scorpio. Yeah, thank you very much. Before I go on, a little public service announcement for the Facebook group. I fully support free speech, but I am not a free speech absolutist. I'm not an absolutist anything because that's basically a fundamentalist.
Yeah, it really is.
I think there has to be a line that I will trust you as an adult to not cross. You can pretty much say what you like. Some people have been getting spicy in the group, and believe me, I've been hearing about it from Mrs. Nerdotic. And everybody she works with. Now, there's one issue I won't deal with because my son is handling the moderation there. And just to let you know a little bit about my son, he is an unabashed, unapologetic Trump supporter and a free speech absolutist. But he's got to answer to me. And somebody said something about Marina Sirtis that was very inappropriate. So if you're listening, I asked my son to contact him. I'm just going to say, delete the comment. And if you don't delete the comment, delete you. And that's it, because we don't wish sexual assault on anybody, even in jest, because it's not funny. Even if you're being like, hey, listen, I love edgy humor too. I do, but I'm not one of those channels. I mean, I'll go there. I want politics removed and stuff, and I love free speech and everything, but I'm not like super hardcore edgy. All right, just not that guy. So if you don't like it and you got to unsub, cool, I understand. But like I said, I have people to answer to. Mrs. Nerdotic mainly. Most everything, 99.9% of everything can go. Really, my son will let it go. Trust me. But that one was brought to my attention. I'm like, God damn it. And the thing is, what I think it is, because I'm paranoid, I think it's just one of the people who wants to take me down, trying to get me deplatformed. And honestly, if I get deplatformed on Facebook, I don't give a shit. But because the Facebook group is for you guys. I mean, that's for you guys to have fun. I wish I had more time to go in there, but I don't. But just wanted to say that. It sucks, but it's part of it. And it's very distracting, by the way. I'm trying to have fun. The Rookie Critic for $2. The same message came up on mine. Oh, well. Yeah, so it's gonna it's gonna be gone in October. The thing is, I'll probably try out a stream to see how that other thing works out. But honestly, dude, what was wrong with Google Hangouts? I actually thought it was really good. It's simple. It's not the greatest thing in the world, but it does the switching camera thing for you, and you know, and it's really easy to set up. But it must be just they must not be making any money on it.
Are they actually shuttering Hangouts or are they just
Hangouts is going to be gone in
Oh,
October. It's
like
done.
period. Not
Period.
just with the YouTube thing, but just completely
Gone. Does not exist anymore.
Yeah, that's gonna be interesting.
Yep. I'm going to definitely have to get a new computer. My computer can't even handle OBS, so it's time.
Yeah. Well, the main thing is, what are you going to be using to communicate with people unless you're going to be using something like Discord for audio?
Well, to have people on, that's the
Yeah.
question.
Because even with whenever I use OBS, I use like a Google Hangout with SwitchPoint, but we have Discord, so we can do it that way too. It's there's ways around it. It's just not as convenient, I think. The Hangout.
No, my preference is to have people on camera. If you guys want to stay anonymous, I understand that, but my preference is to have people on camera because it is kind of it's not 100% proven, but you get more clicks when people can see your face. So
That'll be coming at some point, man. I'll turn the camera on at some point.
I'm telling you, you should. There's nothing to hide there, handsome devil. So another thing, that's gonna. I don't want to think about that. I want to bore people with that. Little tip for the shop. Thank you, Rookie Critic, for the $2, and we love the Rookie Critic. By the way, congratulate the Rookie Critic, the heart and soul of the Fandom Menace, for crossing 1,000 subscribers.
Oh, that's awesome, dude! Congrats.
Yeah, he got a shout out on the High Council. So, those evil toxic males, Jeff and EVS and Jeremy, all were evil and toxic and helped this young man get across, get monetized and everything. You're doing it, Rook. You got there faster than I did. So good luck to you, man. I look forward to many, many more subscribers and a lot more stuff. And I'll jump on one of your live streams soon. It was a lot of fun. Kilroy was here for $5. Hail, I don't know if you saw, but I DM'd you on Twitter with the link to the Vox Apocalypse episode of the Common Man cast, like you asked me to. Thank you. I did see it. I will share it tomorrow. I'm going to be sharing a bunch of Vox Apocalypse tomorrow. Thank you all for sending me, and the offer stands. If you made a Vox Apocalypse video, send it to me. I will share it. I'm not saying I have the broadest reach in the world on Twitter or anything, but I would be happy to do it because that does help everybody. Just try to make it, honest, like, hey, this is affecting me. I'm not if you're a smaller channel, hey, I'm not monetized, but I'd like to be someday. And I'd like for there to be people here someday. It's not even about Crowder. And honestly, I became a member of his mug club. No, I don't agree with all his politics. It doesn't matter. I don't agree with all of anybody's anything. He has a right to say what he wants to say. They put together that super cut and it sounded pretty bad, but so
it was out of context too.
It was out of and so what? He's a comedian.
Yeah.
He is a comedian. And he should all comedians should be protected the worst jokes of them all. Matthew Werney. Thank you, Kilroy, by the way. Thank you for the $5. Matthew Werney for $5. Your DC Comic Australian drugs video made me laugh a lot. Oh, that's cool. And keep me sane while stuck in horrible traffic today. Thanks for the brilliant content. That makes it all worth it right there. Thanks. I'm glad it made somebody laugh. That was good. And I'm glad you guys knew I was joking about the apparently they know who it is over here in the States who sent the comics, and I am really curious to see if we'll ever find that out.
Probably not.
Probably not, but you never know. It had to be a comic shop or somebody with a diamond account.
Mm-hmm.
Well, not necessarily, but most likely it depends on how many comics they were sending, I guess. I tell you that something similar happened to me. So I get a phone call just out of the blue. This was in 2012, so it was my second last year in the store. And it's the postmaster, not general, but whoever the big boss is of a region for the post office. over in Delaware. And he calls me and he's all, "You own the Comic Outpost?" I'm all, "Yep." "You Gary Buechler?" "Yep." Well, he said Buechler, like they always say. Yeah, nobody gets my name right. And I said, "Yeah." He's all, "Well, the reason I'm calling you and the reason you're not arrested right now," I'm like, and my heart sank. I mean, just absolutely sank. And you guys might know, I won't tell you a story here. Being threatened of being arrested in my situation is not just like going away for a couple of years. It's going away for the rest of my life. 3 strikes you're out. So my heart sank, and he's like, "Yeah, the only reason the feds aren't there is because we figured it wasn't you." And there was 150 1-pound boxes that were all post office boxes, and they were the medium-sized priority mail filled with pot. Each one had like a couple pounds of pot in it, and it all had the Comic Outpost on it. So they just used willy-nilly. They used my address as a return address.
Wow, that's insane.
So it's so common that they didn't even bother investigating, sending the police. They just knew I wouldn't. And apparently he had looked me up on Facebook and checked me out, and like they're like, "Nah." So I got that call. I'm like, "Nope, wasn't me." Picked my heart up from the ground, put it back in my chest, restarted it, and didn't hear anything after that. I'm like, that was the weirdest phone call. Maybe that was somebody fucking with me, but no, it was a legit number. We checked it out. Very weird, but apparently that happens all the time.
That's scary, dude. Because next thing you know, there's like your door's getting kicked in at 3 a.m.
Yep. There's actually a song about that by Lard. It's drug raid at 4 a.m. though. You know Lard, don't you?
Oh yes, I do. The Power of Lard.
Oh goddamn, that was a good album, dude. That's just good.
I had it on cassette.
You have it on cassette? That's cool.
I had it on cassette. I don't know if I still have it, but I did have it.
Drug raid at 4 a.m. Jello's awesome. Jason Green, by the way, that's Lard. So it's Ministry and Jello Biafra got together, and they're Lard.
That was like the big thing back in the 90s. It was Ministry teaming up with lots of people. Jello Biafra being one of them. You had Ian MacKaye. I think that was Palehead, and I'm trying to remember what else. Of course, there's the Revolting Cocks.
Ian MacKaye.
That's
a punk rocker right there.
Yeah, big time.
Big time. Steve Carter for £5. Enjoy the shekels. Well, thank you. Shekels. I haven't heard shekels since the early days of
Diversity in Comics.
Diversity in Comics, yeah. I guess he dropped the shekels. Dude, he actually came into one of my live streams. I thought I made the big time.
Yeah, that was last Friday.
Yeah. I thought I made the big time when that happened. That was pretty cool. Pete, $5 from Pete. Just found your channel. Well, welcome, sir. Welcome. I really appreciate your perspective and approach to all the topics you talk about. Here's a little scratch to say thanks. Pete, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. You help keep the lights on around here, keep the content flowing, and it's a lot of fun. I'm actually having a lot of fun. Echo Base is here. What's up? What's up, Nicholas Glenn and Coach? Mark is it Salmon Fink for $2? Gary, dude, see Legend of Galactic Heroes. Okay, what is it? Oh shit, I didn't want to start up. I just accidentally started my screen flow. I did not want to do that.
That's gonna murder your computer.
Oh my god, yeah. How's that running for you, by the way?
ScreenFlow, I stopped using it. I'm using my PC for editing these days.
What are you using?
Premiere.
Okay, so yeah, that's what I'm going to be doing too.
I need to find a better way of recording audio, though. Sometimes Premiere can be a bit clunky. I mean, it's not a huge issue. It's pretty easy, but there's times where it can be a bit clunky. And I would like something a little bit more I won't say mainstream, streamline, like what you can do with the ScreenFlow.
Legend of Galactic Heroes. Oh, it's manga. Is it a manga? Cover of the original novel, Legend of Galactic Heroes, Volume 1. Refer to some Japanese. I can't. Incorrect German translation is Heroic Tales from the Cosmic Island. I like that name better. I do. I'll check it out. Yeah. Nerdotic Jr. Has discovered My Hero Academia. and it is now the greatest thing ever. That is what he said. That is a quote. The greatest thing ever. I love it when kids find stuff. Darth Nobody, but you're somebody to us. $10. Hail Gary, I just wanted to say, keep doing what you're doing. You are my favorite YouTuber. Wow. That's cool. Being somebody's favorite YouTuber, I will try to maintain that, but I don't expect to stay there forever. I understand. Because of your honesty, I hope to be like you when I start my channel someday. What software do you use? Well, I'm bare bones here. I use a $109 Logitech Brio camera, a $200 or $150 now Rode Podcaster. I edit on ScreenFlow, but as Comics and I were just talking, I'm going to go to Premiere. I'm actually trained in Final Cut Pro and Avid. Yeah, I use the most big ScreenFlow is easy, right? I mean, it's just the easiest thing in the world. Matthew Werney for $5. Also, to do my part to support the up and coming channels, please give Echo Base Network a quick shout out. Awesome. Yes, Matthew Werney. Echo Base Network is a longtime Fandom Menace member, longtime supporter, Nicholas Glenn, and coach. I remember his coach. I can't remember his name. I'm sorry. But they just started out a channel recently. I think what are you guys up to? 400 or 500 subscribers now? And it's a good channel, man. It's a good Fandom Menace channel. Please check them out. How's that? Kari P for $20. Hey, I think you forgot to do your review on Genlock, Gary, but if I must wait, then I shall do so. What is Genlock?
I have no idea.
Yeah. Genlock. I remember you. This is that animated thing. It's a series, and it's on. Was it on Netflix? Well, the animation doesn't look terrible. Yeah. Dakota Fanning. Oh, that was an older one. Okay. I will do my, yes, just for Kari, please remind me, stay on me about that. Because I think I'll have some time to sit around and watch TV soon. Thank you, Kari. Ryu Kirito. Ryu Kirito for $9.99. Seeing the model of Q behind you, why don't they make a series that connects to the end of The Next Generation, where Q talks to Picard about charting the unknown possibilities of existence? It would be cool. That is a great idea, Comics.
Yeah, it actually is, but they won't do it.
No, it's almost like Q and Picard, playing chess, but with the universe. Like like Picard has died. That's what I was kind of thinking. It's like it's either like the
Picard is in the process of dying, and so Q comes to him, and it's that test of how they have the ability to make other people, bring them into the Q continuum. So this is like they're playing chess with the universe, like you're saying, and it's whether he is worthy enough to become Q. And I think ultimately at the end, Picard would say, he wouldn't want it.
Exactly. Q would he would like say at the end he would be good enough and he can live on in the universe of his making, and Picard chooses just to pass away, and then you find out later that maybe it was like a painful death or something, and Q was there to help him through it, and at the very end show that Q was actually doing him like a great kindness at the end. Oh man, that gets me emotional just thinking about it.
Cool.
Yeah, you look at you almost want to hate Q right up until the end, and you find out that Picard was going through like the worst disease, that the Federation didn't even have the technology to fix it, and he was in agony, and Q was just keeping him busy that whole time.
Yeah,
and did this great kindness to Picard at the end. Yeah, somebody make that.
He does have that kind of respect for Picard.
He does. He does. And it's the kind of story that CBS and Kurtzman can't tell because it's inspirational. It gives you goosebumps. It goes, woo. Kurtzman, Abrams, they always have to either fake us out with something or just make something dark and dumb. I was listening to Doomcock's video again today about the Star Wars spoilers. That has to be a troll job, because if that's actually the movie, um, close up Galaxy's Edge. It's done. Woof, that's the worst plot I've ever heard.
Oh yeah. That. Did you see his video about the whole thing with no costumes?
Yeah.
That's ridiculous. What the hell?
That's actually, I don't want to it's a good point. I think Disney should make an exception for Galaxy's Edge, but at Disneyland, that's Jeremy's pointed this out, and this is actually true. That has always been a rule. Always. Because people used to, back in the old days, used to pretend, dress up and rip people off.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
well,
so
that doesn't make sense.
Yeah, but as far as Galaxy's Edge, though, I think I would make an exception. Like, here's a changing room, and when you get into Galaxy's Edge, you could, to a certain extent, like, I don't think you can like go crazy cosplay, but if you wanted to dress up like Luke Skywalker or an X-wing pilot, I think that's perfectly fine. Now, kids can dress up in costumes. That's fine. If you're 14 and under, which I'm going to have a very controversial opinion on that cosplay. I think that's pretty much the max age of wearing a costume, but I mean, if you want to, that's cool. I'm not a cosplay person. So, yeah. Top Gear used to joke about the BBC 10 years ago, live-ish. Yeah. God, not even 10 years ago. Steve Carter, God, I miss Top Gear. I know we have the Grand Tour. It's still really good. It's just not the same for some reason. Yeah. Cracklin for $9.99. Gary found a Nerdotic on Twitch with no content. Is that you? Yep. Would love to see you there. I've done a couple. I don't think the live streams stay up. Cracklin,
no, they don't. They go away after a while.
Yeah. So yeah, I've done a couple live streams there. Yes. So the plan is, I'm currently finishing up my Patreon obligation so I can change my tiers, redoing my entire studio in here. It's going to look the same. Don't worry. It's going to look better, but no major changes. Don't worry. Yes, the plan is to Twitch once to twice a week.
I think you could also use Restream and just like restream your YouTube once to Twitch as well.
That's what I did. But my computer just couldn't handle it. So
yeah. Well, yeah, you definitely need to get a better computer, especially if you're going to be using OBS.
Yeah. Peter Davison for Australian $2. Deep state, deep efforts. Yes, I agree. Hey, Peter, you didn't find any meth in your DC Comics, did you? I hope not. Okay, we're gonna get to the chat a little bit here, and then Comics Division. What did you think of the Batwoman teaser? Actually, we talked about the trailer, but you can give me your thoughts on that too. But what did you think of the teaser?
I saw your video, and I have to agree. This show has to be a fucking troll. You know, they're trolling us. I think that they're trying to spark some sort of outrage because that's all it has. You know, I don't think there's going to be really any substance to this show. It's going to be my feminism and my trolling of normies, I guess. But it's like, it's dumb. It's dumb as hell. It's like, if she's supposed to be this heiress, just giving a poor person, some money is not going to fix any of the problems. And some guy saying, hey, you're just encouraging them. And then she walks back, gets that look on her face, like the FU patriarchy look, and then hands the watch and kind of smirks at him and gets on the bike and rides off. It's like, bitch, you got money. You can open up a homeless shelter and do something that's actually really constructive to society rather than just giving some transient some money and your freaking expensive Rolex watch, which they're probably going to shoot into their vein. The other thing I would point out is that that transient woman, or street urchin, or whatever you want to call her, she looks way too clean.
She's very healthy. Very healthy.
Very healthy.
Now we have young transients and there's a hobo thing, by the way. I'm sure you're aware of this. There's a whole hobo thing where kids are doing this hobo thing, and they hang out at Hippie Hill over at Golden Gate Park. And
shit, they've been doing this in Portland for years, man.
Yeah.
At least pretty close to a decade at this point.
Yep.
The homeless lifestyle.
The one thing that was kind of shocking when I was in London, and it might not be like that now, but this was back in 2004 or 5. I saw a lot of young homeless people like that looked really healthy. But maybe they were just drug runaways. And that was kind of like what what I was the young, healthy looking drug addict on the street in Encinitas. It's kind of a good place to be on the street. To be honest. Nice weather. It was a very nice bush I lived under. But yeah, no girl would be like that. And I mean, listen, the whole point of it was stupid. Yes, it had to be a troll job, especially the opening line, dude. The opening line says it all. You'll encourage them. I wouldn't do that. It's like, okay, we got you. We get it. And if they're doing this as like a parody, like it's going to be funny and they're going to lean into it, it might actually work. That would actually work. I know they're not going to do it, but it would be funny as hell if they like kind of tongue in cheek, maybe even snuck it past the network going, we're going to troll everybody on this one. I would actually like that. The bad thing about the CW is, you know, this kind of relates to streaming wars. So you notice that DC streaming has to have Titans. Titans is on Netflix. Star Trek Discovery is on Amazon Prime. If you have a streaming service and you need to put your shows that are exclusively on your streaming service on another streaming service to help pay
you're
for your
not doing
streaming
well.
service, you're not doing very well.
No,
you're not going to make it. You're not going to see what they're all hoping for is some billionaire, you know, savior to come in, and it's just not going to happen. You're dead. You're DOA done. And it sucks because I just finished reviewing Swamp Thing. Like I said, it's really good. Stargirl, actually, I mean, it looks like it might be good. There were good things about Doom Patrol. Young Justice is brilliant. There's a lot of good things happening at DC, and the world they're building over there in the DC streaming universe, at least in Doom Patrol, I think Titans can be fixed. And what the greatness of Swamp Thing, I think that would be one I would follow. That's a cinematic universe or a television universe I would follow. And they're shutting it down. God damn it!
Shutting it down.
It's
time to shut her down. Just shut her down.
Oh golly, gee. What? I got to look at the Google Docs there because I know we were supposed to talk about something on brain fart. Oh God, the Mary Sue.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, and by the way, yes, I've known a few Krusties back in my day, man. So
Krusty Punks. Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah. Gotcha. I'm sorry. Krusty Punks. I had no respect for him when I was, you know, even though I was a homeless one, but I would never panhandle. I would never beg. I was like, a punk rocker takes what he wants. He doesn't fucking beg. That's the way I was.
And that's how you end up in jail.
Yep. Kind of. Yeah. Then the logic doesn't work, you know.
Yeah.
It doesn't really work out. So we're looking for the male gaze.
God, that article is so stupid.
I know. For one, is that really her bird of prey costume? It's a cheerleader bird. Wow.
Yeah, well, this I know Nerdette, Tristan Nerdette's newsstand. She hates the Birds of Prey trailer so much.
Oh, there was a trailer? I didn't even see the
trailer.
I
don't know if it's a trailer. It's like a teaser. They're doing like a promo for it, and she can't stand it.
John F. Trent told me that they only put $75 million into the movie. Do you know one episode of Swamp Thing cost $40 million?
Wow. Well, you know, the movie is probably not going to make its money back, so there's that. So they got to lowball it.
I think that was the whole series. But I think that was closer to what one episode of like I think it was like more 10-15 million for an episode of like Star Trek Discovery and Game of Thrones. So that's 3 episodes of Game of Thrones, basically. God damn it. Are you going to see it for the channel?
Probably. I'll probably give it a review.
Margot Robbie Comics Division promises less male gazy. Who is she calling a gazy? What does she got against the gazies?
That sounds, you know, pretty anti-LGBT, if you ask me.
I think it is. They're going to end up eating each other alive.
Oh, look, it's from our good friend Kate Gardner. No wonder.
Oh. Are you guys on first name basis?
No. I've trashed quite a few Kate Gardner articles.
Princess Weeks, is that the other one?
Princess Weeks is another one, yes. She is, as she likes to say, the only um, queer woman of color that works for the Mary Sue. And she basically trashed the Mary Sue on that, which was really fucking hilarious.
I remember that. That was
That
funny.
was over the whole what's his name
Yeah.
incident.
Margot Robbie's Harley Quinn is one of the DCU's most beloved characters and sells the second most merchandise. But her initial design in Suicide Squad was problematic, to say the least. Patriarchy.
Patriarchy. You might as well say Illuminati at this point.
Illuminati. It might be a Halloween costume staple, but it's not necessarily the most feminist of get-ups.
It's a fucking cosplay staple. After that movie came out at San Antonio Comic-Con, you would be you'd be blown away by the number of girls, or I won't say girls, women that were cosplaying as that version of Harley Quinn. I mean, it literally was like wall to wall.
Yep. And I'll be honest with you. I never liked the costume. I like the original Harley Quinn costume.
I do too. And
Yeah.
I actually got pictures of a really good cosplay of the original outfit. And it's like, I don't understand why they couldn't have pulled it off in this movie, because if this is something some 23-year-old can pull off, you think Hollywood would be able to do it better, but apparently not.
Nope. And I want to preface, until I saw it on Margot Robbie, and I'm like, okay, it works for me a little bit. It might be a Halloween costume staple, but it's not necessarily the most femicist.
You might as well say that.
Fuck you, femicist. I'm going to say that from now on. It's a femicist. It's looking like that will change. Well, that's good, because DC doesn't need to make money anymore. I want to see feminism take down the second most selling merchandise at DC and knock it below fucking Blue Beetle.
They've already destroyed, so many opportunities for women. Like there's like the whole Grid Girl incident, and it's not like these girls were being exploited. They were tastefully dressed, and they fucking took their jobs away, basically using feminism as a defense. It's ridiculous. It's like, these women have their own agency. They want to go do this. And now you've gone because of your fucking agenda and you've taken their jobs away. How fucking feminist of you. How, if you're all about female empowerment, then why did you basically destroy these women's careers?
Did you know you can't spell feminist without an M, an E, and an N?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, where was I? Birds of Prey. Given the first looks revealed of her Birds of Prey costume, and we have the female creatives behind the scenes to thank for that. In a recent story with Vogue, Birds of Prey costume designer Erin Bennock said, "That's what happens when you have a female producer, director, and writer. Yeah, it stops making money." Whoa.
Yeah, well, not just that. It's not the fact that they're female. It's probably because they're feminist.
Yep. No, they can make money. It depends on the film. But, well, they did that with Jessica Jones season 2. And, I mean, they didn't look for the best person for the job. They just looked for women to direct it, which is discrimination. But whatever. In a recent story for Vogue, Birds of Prey, I already read that. Robbie agreed, adding, "Yeah, it's definitely less male gazy." Well, I mean, I'm looking at the costume and less male gazy, maybe. I won't say what she looks like. Featuring a sheer shirt that reads "Daddy's Little Monster," and we better not say it. And she looks like a flamingo. Yeah, that's it.
She looks like a pom pom exploded on her.
Yes. Featuring a sheer shirt that reads "Daddy's Little Monster" and tiny shorts over fishnets and heeled boots. The older costume fell into the male gaze trap. This was not helped by camera angles lingering on Harley's rear and legs in the outfit. Costume designer Kate Howley is credited with the work, but it was director David Ayer's decision to use Harley's look to objectify her. I'm going to say something really obvious. Comics Division, please excuse me for the obvious alert. The reason Harley Quinn is popular is because of that look.
Yes.
It's because she's hot. Okay,
Yes.
even in her older costume.
Yeah, and it's not just popular with guys; it's popular with women too.
Yep.
But don't tell Mary Sue that. Their heads might explode.
A Harley Quinn is a sexualized character, which can be feminine empowerment. It actually can be if you think about it a little bit.
But they're gonna debunk it, man. They're gonna debunk it.
Okay, that's fine. I mean, really, human beings are the best at rationalizing in the world. You can debunk anything.
There's some amazing mental gymnastics that are about to go on.
I listened to a guy at Contact in the Desert make an argument that, I mean, I wasn't believing it, let's be clear, but made an argument about the flat earth that sounded really good. It did. I mean, it was full of crap, but still, it was a very intelligent guy making a flat earth argument, but he did it just to make the argument. He didn't believe it, but he was, it's just the whole point.
Well, flat earth is parody anyway.
Yeah, it is. And it always has been. It didn't help that the main motives in the film were centered around her abusive boyfriend, the Joker, which is her origin story.
Yeah, I mean, that's a huge part of her fucking character. You think of that, Mary Sue? You think of that, Kate Gardner? Ooh, probably not.
I think I just
without the Joker, you wouldn't have Harley Quinn.
No, you wouldn't. And that's what they're trying to do is they're retconning everything. So there isn't a man behind the origin of a woman, even though they're all tokenized characters. So that's going to be really rough. They're going to have to relaunch the universe again. I only saw the headline on Bounding into Comics, but DC's retconning Harley Quinn's origin again.
I thought they're only doing that for Black Label, though.
Are they? Okay, is that what it was?
Yeah, no, they're just making a change for, as far as I know.
I just saw the headline. Yeah, I didn't know if it was. Yeah,
Black Label is its own thing.
This brings us to the age-old question brought on by the trolls, which is, how can you shame a woman for what she's wearing if you're not supposed to be a feminist? While real women can actively choose what they wear, fictional women are often put in skimpy costumes for the purpose of making them appealing to a male audience. Yes. They can't actively choose their own costume because, surprise, they are not real. And examining the motives of those who did make those choices are perfectly valid. Sure. Absolutely. Results, kid.
Yeah.
So yeah, go ahead and do that.
First off, what's wrong with that? And B, it's like, Black Widow is a really good example of a female character who uses her sexuality as a weapon. And to an extent, so does Harley Quinn.
I tell you what, I don't know why Hollywood is capitulating to this stuff. I think it's partially this is appeasement. I think this is Hollywood appeasement because they are the most guilty of this stuff. So I feel like they're trying to appease them to kind of keep them off their back. And that's why I think they do a lot of the politics too. But I can tell you right now, this is a tremendous uphill battle considering my wife works in the beauty industry and that thing ain't stopping anytime soon. You want to talk about the most solid industry in the world. I wonder though, if all the women at Comic-Con this year will just wear like Rose Tico potato sacks or something like that.
No. I mean, that's the thing I find so funny about this is that there's a reason why women run around dressed as, scantily clad Wonder Woman. I wouldn't say scantily clad, but you get the idea. You know what the costume looks like and why they dressed up as Harley Quinn, because it's an awesome costume. They look nice.
Yeah.
I mean, what's wrong with that? And that's the thing. The thing that pisses me off about this mentality is that this is what is known as sex negative feminism. They want sex to be bad. They're anti-porn. They're anti-attractive women. They think that all women should be frumpy and unappealing to men. For whatever reason, I don't know. Maybe it's because they're frumpy and unattractive, and therefore they're projecting that on top of other people. But the idea that, I mean, that's the thing that I think that feminists have they're projecting like the worst intentions onto men. I mean, yeah, I can see a hot chick and go, oh, wow, she's attractive. That's it. But they want to take it a step further to where, oh, you're thinking about having sex with her and all these things. It's like, no, dude, it's you are the one who's going there. I'm pretty sure most dudes don't. It doesn't mean that there aren't. I'm sure there is. But on average, most guys don't give a shit. We really don't.
We really don't. And the thing is, they're basing all of us, they're generalizing us to the lowest, worst common
Yeah,
denominator.
exactly.
And this is how they turn turn the majority of the planet into a voting block, trying to put a huge divide. There's this huge line in the sand, and Hollywood and the BBC are playing into this shit. To what ends? Well, control, power. It's not about your cause. It's never about your cause. It's about maintaining power. And I'm talking about the elites and the people running the BBC and the franchises. They're using this to maintain power. Harley's, and there's a power shift in Hollywood because they saw an opportunity. They used a movement that had legitimate beginnings. Okay, Harvey Weinstein was a scumbag.
Oh, absolutely.
Hollywood producers were a scumbag. And the reason Hollywood is allowing this to happen, because I will generalize right now. I think the vast number of producers who are old school, I'm not going to say the new school, but definitely the old school, probably were guilty of some pretty nasty stuff. When you have the, and I'm talking the producers, the ones with power. So it's not, we're not talking thousands of people. We're talking hundreds of men largely, but it's probably some women too, who had a lot of money and a lot of power and got whatever the hell they want. Took it a little too far, got busted, then power shift. That's what's happening. Harley's new outfits are gorgeous and attractive to who? And yet it doesn't feel like Harley is posing for the camera or dressing. Okay. What?
Yeah. It's like, you need to seriously rethink that statement. It's like, it's a fucking movie. Of course they're posing for the camera.
That's not posing for the camera. You can still see a lot of flesh there. So I wouldn't say this is, yeah. Harley's new outfits are gorgeous and attractive, and yet it doesn't feel, oh God, that is so lame. We don't know enough about the film to say if her motives will be, what's that noise in the background?
No, that's my dog. Sorry.
Will be better, but the subtitle, The Fabulous Emancipation of One Harley Quinn, all but guarantees her motives are less Joker centric. Well, I mean, if it keeps Jared Leto out as the Joker, I can get behind that. But this is where having female creatives behind the scene really helps. A female director and writer with the help of female producers can navigate pitfalls there. Well, okay, hard stop. I have a question. Comics, I have a question.
Do you have a question?
I do have a question. There's been female producers before, right?
Yeah. Really? Has there? I had no fucking idea, man. I thought that was like a recent thing that happened in the last 15 days.
Oh, yeah. So all those female, like Gail Ann Hurd, Kathleen Kennedy. Yeah. I guess they weren't doing their job back then.
I guess not, man.
Kathy Ann is clearly shooting Harley through the female gaze. She's not a sex object, but a fully realized character.
Really? I thought she was a fully realized character in the last movie. As a matter of fact, she was like one of the reasons that made that movie palatable, because it was such hot fucking trash.
I dare say the only reason anybody watched the Suicide Squad was for her. We'll still get the Harley Quinn fans adore based on set leak. We'll still get the Harley Quinn fans adore based on set leaks. Adore. But we won't have to deal with being just a male fantasy. Instead, she'll probably trend more towards female power fantasy.
Okay, first off, the whole thing with Harley Quinn is that, yeah, she's hot, but she's crazy. She's not a fantasy. She's a nightmare.
No, I think we got a little bit of truth within this article, though.
Oh, yeah, I know the female power fantasy.
But I get what you're saying. I totally get what you're saying. So this is what is currently going on, and this is what I kind of wanted to lead up to with the title and everything. So this is what's going on. We have been straight up trashing men for a while here, and it is a female power fantasy. This
absolutely.
Feminism. It's not feminism. Doctor Who is a female power fantasy. Batwoman is a female power. Captain Marvel is damn near female power porn. So, and that's fine, but under the guise of they're like, this is really important. We're doing this to, for all the little girls out there.
That's bullshit.
Yeah.
It's all about I wouldn't even say it's a female power fantasy. I would say it's a feminist power fantasy. A lot of what I see, which is pretty funny, like, male power fantasies, we want to save the day and get the girl. Okay. I would say if you're a normal human being, that is your average male power fantasy. With feminists, they want to basically go and torture men. That's their power fantasies. Like if you ever see Dietland, that is a primary example of a feminist power fantasy.
Yes.
Along with the Captain Marvel cutscene.
I couldn't agree more.
Yeah.
And that's, and again, you go back. I'm sure there's more of a genuine female power fantasy. Maybe it's just a reverse of the vast majority of guys, which I imagine is the vast. I don't know what the female power fantasy is. I have no idea. But I think you're right. Is like we would love to be when we were kids, we wanted to be the hero and get the girl, and not like get the girl and wanted to find like your future wife. Somebody you can make a family with. Yes, it's called a fantasy. Breaking it down to a power fantasy, it could be just an aspiration. Is there something wrong with wanting to be a hero or achieve something in life? I think, if you do it through the lens of a kid, if you want to talk about like looking through people's lens, you're looking through the lens of a child, it's kind of simplified. So to teach them through comic books to achieve something that's beyond them is actually a good lesson. It's a good lesson, and we want to kill that lesson. And what's happening in all this playing out, all this power play, and this is what is a big freaking BDSM power play going on in Hollywood, is we're forgetting about the boys. We're forgetting about the little young men running around this country. And right now they're feeling awfully bad. It's being brought up in schools. I hear my kids' friends talking about it. I hear all their little conversations. That's being a good dad. And you'd be amazed at what they're talking about in schools in San Francisco. And it actually gives me hope. It gives me hope because what they're being taught here is, can't wait to get out of here. But yeah, so thanks for, dealing with that comics division. You probably had to read it twice.
I did.
Ugh.
Equally terrible.
Ugh.
No, but it gave me an opportunity to see, one of the points I made. So it's all good.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. It's all good. It's all good. But yeah, and that's obviously a partisan site, but I love that this partisan site will call other partisan sites out. And it's like, because
no self-awareness whatsoever.
None whatsoever. Tech guy for $2. The CW Batwoman is trash, man. Said man toxic. Yes. Absolutely. And in my video, I think I said Batman a couple of times, accidentally twice. So I wonder if I can get in trouble for that. I honestly thought, I'm like, would that get you deplatformed if you accidentally misgender somebody? Things are getting ridiculous with that, by the way.
Yeah, it really is.
A writer for Doctor Who got fired for his views on transgenderism. He's a gay man. That doesn't shield him, though. It doesn't shield you from being stupid. And I don't necessarily agree with what he had to say, but there are people accusing him of denying transgender existence, and that's not what he said. He said some pretty racy things about it. And BBC Books, as a private organization, has every right to fire him as a private organization. But the thing is, I wonder if you go find any other writer, just pull 5 writers out of BBC Books and then go over all of their social media feeds and go over their entire life. I'm sure one of those people has said something as bad, if not worse. Are we just going to fire everybody?
We all have. We've all said stupid things. That's the thing that really kind of pisses me off about this, is that it's the idea that you've transgressed and there's no redemption. And that's the reason why whenever I talk about social justice, I compare it to Christianity as a religion, but without any kind of redemption arc. You go, you must confess your sins, which is your privilege, but there is no redemption to you. You know, you're just a whatever you are, the sum of your arbitrary, you know, visual parts, your straight white maleness and crap like that. It's quite depressing.
It really is. I don't want to be. I mean, like, I mean, again, it's weird when I'm sure there's people older than me that'll laugh, but you know, hey, I'm just aware that I'm approaching finishing my 5th decade on this planet, and it's just you live long enough to see life get weird, and things go in a direction that you never saw coming. But now I'll be ready in the next 20 years when things go way off the rails. But that's fine because I'll be living in an airstream in freaking Santa Fe, New Mexico, unplugged. Yeah, when I'm done here, dude, I am unplugged. Peace out. The Cape, 2 pounds. Everything is cyclical. It certainly is. And that's a good sum up to that is you see so many things repeat. And you know, comics, you were around. So we're seeing the late 90s Girls Kick Ass just repeat again and get dialed up a little bit. That's all.
I would say it's dialed up a lot more than just a little bit, though.
Yeah, I mean, the Girls Kick Ass thing was, maybe because I was younger, was completely tolerable. It didn't bother me that much at all.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with empowerment, but
Nope.
this isn't empowerment. This is
No.
more, fuck. Shit, I always forget the word. Damn it.
Lame.
No, well, yeah, well, it is lame. Chauvinism. It's female chauvinism, is what it is.
Which doesn't exist apparently.
Yeah, well, yeah, because of, you know, whatever.
Yeah, exactly. Bruce Lombardo, thanks for the coffee, by the way.
Yes, thank you, sir. Your coffee is keeping me alive today, by the way.
That is some good coffee.
And
Captain Spire sent me somebody. Okay, so I'm not going to be able to do a toxic mailbag because I can't find anything. I moved everything out of my room and it's a terrible mess. But Captain Spire, Bruce Lombardo, thank you very much for the coffee. Captain Spire gave me a box full of Pete's. Like, I am good for at least a month, which is great. Echo Based Network CW Walker 94 for $2. I DM'd you and emailed you about Plex.tv stuff. Thank you very much, my friend. I appreciate that. I will take you up on that offer. I want to see Chernobyl. You seen the whole thing?
I have. It's amazing.
It's amazing. Okay.
It's very good.
Excellent. Echo Based Network $4.99. You hear about the soy journalists over at IGN crying over how offensive and realistic the new COD Modern Warfare game is. Might do a vid on it later. I did. Didn't the Quartering just do a video on that? It was pretty. I mean, I don't understand much about gaming, but is this the one where they were crying about, you know, people getting killed in Modern Warfare and it's actually women? It's like, yeah, this is part of equality. This is it. You get to die just like we do.
Yep.
In the fake pixelated video game.
Yep. Pixel murder. Now women are now being included in that. Congratulations, equality achieved.
Yep. Quality. It's Daniel, $5. Watching Doctor Who series 1 through 4 feels like it happened 30 years ago. My God, Daniel, you're so right. It was so magical, and today it's just blah. That Screen Rant article was hilarious. Was that? God damn. Did you hear my temper rising as the video went on? I dropped an F-bomb in one of my videos. I never do that. But they actually said that the New Year's special was a hit, and the Daleks are reinvigorated. They made the Dalek look like a Victorian era woman. They made the Dalek look like a Victorian era woman.
What the
Let me find the picture. Dalek.
Jesus fucking
resolution.
Fuckity fuck. That is so stupid.
So I was joking, going
robot, man.
I was joking, and because I heard the dogs are coming back. They're going to make the first female dog, and everybody's like, no, there's no gender, and they did it, but they did. They had the Dalek attached to a woman the whole time,
because of course.
Is this the picture? looking for. There's a matchup picture that I brought up in one of my videos that has the Dalek right next to a woman in a Victorian era dress, and now I can't find it, of course. A Dalek from Resolution, Victorian era. I'll find it later, but you guys know what I'm talking about. Here, I'll show you what the Dalek looks like anyway.
Yeah, please do. I'm curious.
So that let me find a good picture of it. And it's supposed to, if you match it up, there it is. There's a good picture of it. And there was a great picture going around on Twitter of a woman wearing a brown Victorian era dress, and it looked just like it. So notice the bottom is much bigger.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it's supposed to look like the dress. You got to see them next to each other, though. It makes more sense once you see it, and you're like, God damn it. And they're mixing that stuff in, and it's like, it's everywhere now. I was even talking about this. Oh my gosh, damn Swamp Thing review. I think I mentioned it earlier. They have Sunderland. Sunderland is like this powerful mogul in Swamp Thing. He's got all this money, and in the show, they make it, his wife has all the money, and he has to beg her for money. So it just, and then the sheriff in the show is a woman, and she's always like giving her son shit. So any position of power is given to a woman. And if it was just in one single thing, or if it happened just half the time right now, I'm like, okay with it. But every genre show I watch does this now. And I can do a supercut on this, and maybe I'll do it for Father's Day. But it's ridiculous. And the thing is, not every show knows what every other show is doing. So what's happening is it's just a trend, right? But this is going to have a bad effect on what you're trying to move forward, because you're not really moving anything forward, because you're being superficial, and it's a power play, and that's what we said. I don't have a problem. I what we talked about last Friday, egalitarian system, equality, true equality, and meritocracy. You got to be able to know what the hell you're doing.
Yeah, but that's Nazi speak in 2019.
I know. Centrist. No, being a centrist now is I am alt-right.
Yeah, I know. I find that absolutely hilarious that being a centrist is being labeled as alt-right these days.
Oh, yeah. Somebody made a video about me saying that.
I know. I watched that video.
You should see.
I'm pretty sure I shared the video with you.
Yes, you did. Thanks, by the way.
Yeah.
So he made another one, and it was about Gareth Edwards, and it actually, started out as a reasonable argument until he blamed it all on basically Gareth. He basically went from Gareth Edwards' views on transgenderism to it being it actually killing transgender people and causing climate change, or denying climate change and causing Brexit. Whoa, that was a big leap at the end.
Whoa, talk about a sharp turn.
Daniel, thank you again, Daniel, for the $5. Philip Wolf for $2. Nicolas Cage could play an excellent Snowflame. Dude, that is the best casting of all time.
I would agree. Completely agree.
He even kind of looks like him. If you look how Snowflame is drawn, that's Nicolas Cage. That is Nicolas Cage. DJM Voices for $5. Hey, Gary, regret missing the last few streams. It's okay. Life gets in the way. Plus, I keep them up as videos. Just dropping by to say congrats on crossing 100,000 threshold. Keep doing what you're doing. DJM Voices, thank you so much. I appreciate it. All of our stuff can always be found at nerdotic.com, but thanks for stopping by, even if it's for a little bit. I appreciate your time. Nicole, how do I say the last name? Pucci. Pucky? I'm going to say Pucky. I could be wrong on that one. Canadian, $5. Solidarity for people with unpronounceable last names. Nicole, you're the best. The Cape for £2. CW are clueless. RIP. Didn't they try to bring Clueless to CW? Was that me? Am I?
No, I don't think you're imagining it. I vaguely remember something like that.
Yeah. I actually like that movie. I do.
Clueless?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I do.
it's not a bad movie.
Yeah. Bobo Vasquez for $2. Your glasses are kick ass. Thank you. They are Ray-Bans. They are Ray-Bans. Thank you very much. I need them or I can't see shit. Peter Davison for Australian $5. No meth, no U.S. Marshals. Well, that's true. You stay away from the meth, you stay away from the Marshals. The Cape for £2. Titans was a lot better than I expected. You must have expected a horrid mess.
Wasn't it a horrid mess?
It was a horrid mess, dude. I didn't like it. I liked episode 4 with the Doom Patrol. Jose Luis Castellanos for $20. Hi, Gary. Someone false flagged anti-trekker videos. When? Again? Well, see, what anti-trekker does is he uses real footage, but he's allowed to. There's a thing called fair use. But he gets hit all the time by CBS. And I don't know. There's got to be a point where YouTube has just got to say enough. I think YouTube doesn't keep track of how many hits people get, and they got to notice that they're wasting a bunch of time going over anti-trekker videos and then releasing them. You think they would just like make a note on his account going, okay, this dude's going to get hit by CBS, just deny it.
Yep.
Loquacious Primate, $20. Consider this a taste of my support to come. So happy to relax on a Friday night after a crazy week with another to go so my boss can demo the project next week. Thanks for the content. Keep me going through the late nights. You are welcome, Loquacious Primate. Well, knock on wood, I'll be here. Comics and I will be here, taking you through the night on Friday Night Tights.
Into the night.
Into the night. Oh, by the way, ASMR. So there is a young lady I subscribe to. I don't know why I subscribed to her. I think she subscribed to me when I had like 50 subscribers, so I subscribed back. Our content is nothing alike. She's English, and she does unboxing videos, but she does ASMR now, and I got the best ASMR idea. So I am going to be doing an ASMR video on my Nerdotic Live, and it's going to be ASOIF ASMR, a song of ice and fire ASMR.
Oh dear God, what do you have planned?
I'm gonna read like the worst chapters from A Song of Ice and Fire in ASMR voice, like the Red Wedding and stuff.
That's great. CD Horde, you really should flag the video for my terrible singing. And that was, I would like to say it was not done intentionally, but it was not done intentionally. I like to say it was done intentionally, but it was not done intentionally.
You guys want to see if we can flag our own videos? You want to try it? No, just kidding. I want to self-flag.
Would that be self-flagellation?
If self-flag, I was going to say flag off.
I'm waiting for like the stream of booze coming from the comments.
I can hear it now. I feel it. I can feel it. Technocratic concentration camp for Australian $14.99. Would CBS ever consider bringing Seth MacFarlane on to cross the entire cast of the Orville into Discovery season 3, perhaps through a wormhole to bring all of Star Trek fans back? CBS had that opportunity. Seth MacFarlane pitched them a show. They told him to pound sand, and apparently it wasn't even nice. And that's what led to
the Orville.
So Star Trek, CBS has done this to themselves. It shows you how loyal the fan base is, that they still have fans after what they did to the fan film community, what they did to Stage 9. And honestly, they just killed their franchise. It's such a healthy franchise that it will live another decade or two, but it lost a couple generations. It's not going to be carried forward. So it's going to be looked at in the not too distant future. Lost in Spaces, like there's a fan base out there. It's kind of old. There's still people out there who can remember every episode, but it's just not going to be what it once was. You're not going to have Star Trek conventions, and it's going to suck.
Well,
I
you
remember
definitely have it for Discovery.
no. Hey, in the 90s, there was Star Trek conventions all the time.
Mhm.
And now they're like, and the one that's in Vegas is frankly way too expensive. It's ridiculously expensive. How can young fans go to that convention when the cheapest ticket is $250, and then there's those bronze seats that are like $1,000, and it's effing ridiculous. And plus you're in Vegas. Are you honestly going to go to the convention all 4 days? Well, some Trekkies might, but I'm not gonna. By the way, I'm doing a meetup. I know there's a lot of YouTubers going and there's a lot of other people going, but we're not necessarily affiliated. I'd love to hang out with them and stuff. But I haven't been in contact. Been in contact with a couple who I can't say. And hopefully we can come together and work on like maybe a singular place to go meet. But I haven't really talked to a bunch of people yet. But I know what I want to do. So, because it's my birthday. Chris Wilson, Canadian 279. Ever watched the channel Lore Reloaded? Yes, I am aware of Lore and I have watched his channel. Yes. He's a friend of Anti-Trekker. Now I watch more Anti-Trekker than I watch Lore. Captain Mary Sue SJW. Lore tries to some people will call it reasonable. And I could side with that. Some people will call it fence sitter. But Lore's one of those fans who just wants good Trek and he'll kind of accept whatever they give. He's been critical of Discovery before, but not as critical as me. Captain Mary Sue SJW 499. Well, why move way out to New Mexico? Why not join us San Diego expats up here in Pahrump, Nevada? It's close to a lot of conventions, just short drive to Vegas, San Diego, LA, and San Francisco. And it's the home of Art Bell. Art Bell. May you rest in peace. I don't think I can talk Mrs. Nerdotic into moving to Pahrump. She needs to be near stuff. Plus, she'll want to do a head of hair here and there, you know. TJ Paris for $10. I was actually impressed by the 100 on the CW. Feels a lot like BSG. The CW superhero universe was always going to end up the way without having access to major properties characters. Well, CW is going to be CW and do CW's things. I can't watch anything on that network anymore. My wife does like the 100 though. TJ Paris, she does. But yeah, the CW is a little too woke for me. What about you, Comics Division?
Yeah. I'll be honest with you. Even before they got woke, I tried watching the first season of Green Arrow or Arrow. I think it's just called Arrow. Yeah, I was woefully unimpressed, and part of it was the way they portrayed Ollie. You know, he's not Batman. You know, he's not brooding. You know, he's kind of more, you know, damn the man, save the empire. So yeah, I couldn't tolerate it.
Yeah, that's the one thing. A lot of now a generation of people don't even know what Ollie is really like.
Yeah.
And the thing is, it's so funny on the woke network. They make him the stoic one. I mean, it's like he's not he's I guess you would call him a classic liberal now. I don't know how he's written. Personally, I haven't read a new Green Arrow comic in about a year. But yeah, no. Peter Davison, Australian $2. You need to say "oh so woke" to upset the SJWs. Oh, I upset them. I upset him, and I don't even say SJW that much. I say woke.
Yeah, I say both.
Yeah.
I'm apparently not pissing off enough people like I used to.
I need to work on that a little bit.
Yeah, I need to work on that. There was this one thing I saw on Twitter, and I opted not to respond. But it was like somebody was doing this poll of it's like, can you have equality of the sexes without feminism? Yes, no. I was going to respond back with, have you heard of egalitarianism?
Yeah, right. Jesus,
it's that word that nobody seems to know what it means anymore.
Not anymore. It's because what's the end game? What's the end game to intersectional feminism? What is the end game?
I'm
Because
pretty
that's
sure it's the
beyond
oppression of
equality.
cis white men, but
Yeah.
that's my
Well, good
conspiracy
luck
theory.
with that. Good luck with that. Well, I mean, considering the direction some of the men in this country are going, it might be possible. But blue-eyed, you know what I mean? I mean,
It's only that's the thing, man. The progressive activists are only 9% of the population, so they are an extreme minority, but they are also the loudest
oh God,
minority, which is really funny because the majority of the population is, I think they call it the tired majority. Shit, I don't remember. You got to read the Hidden Tribes research study.
hidden
It's
tribe.
really, really interesting. Yeah. Because exhausted majority. That's what they call it. It's the exhausted majority. It's consisting of, classical liberals, centrists, some conservatives, and then you have like the, very conservatives, which are consisting of like, traditional conservatives and more far right. Um, but they're only 25%, which that would also include, the extreme far right and just like traditional conservatives. And I can't remember what the other one was, but it's a really good read, and it really kind of breaks down what is going on in this country. The woke ones want to think that they're the majority, but they think they are because of the echo chamber on Twitter and Facebook and all the other social media platforms where they perpetuate this nonsense. Um, yeah, most people, they don't give a fuck, and they don't want, PC culture.
They really don't.
Yeah.
And the backlash it's coming. It's happening. I see it now. I mean, as YouTube channels grow, because this is the only place to go. Now, I know they got rid of some of our friends, and some of our friends have kind of thrown in the towel. And
Who have they gotten rid of?
like Black Pigeon. Well, Black Pigeon Speaks is not a channel I can't
Yeah,
even
but
say I've
he's
watched
back on.
any of his stuff.
Yeah,
Well, that's what Dave Kellen said. He was gone. I just
yeah,
watched
no,
that.
he did. I think he disappeared, but I saw his videos pop up yesterday.
They did, so he got his channel back.
I think he got his channel
Yeah.
back.
So why would his channel just disappear and all of a sudden he gets it back?
Well, I'm pretty sure it's because the peasants are rioting.
They're silencing. What they're doing is I'm telling you, it's a test shot.
No, I'm pretty sure it is.
This is nothing compared to what we're going to be getting soon. David Morris, £2. Me Too is covering up sex child abuse. Corey Haim. You know what? I agree with that to a large extent. I agree with that. I have brought that up here. It just seems to me that Me Too kind of went a certain place and started going another place, and then it just stopped. And it sounds like to me that I'm going to go, this is my conspiracy theory, tinfoil hat. This is just my pure, crazy, drug-addled mind, former comic shop retailer speculation. That there was a power play in Hollywood. There was a bunch of guilty men, just a bunch of them, who did some nasty stuff to women who should be punished for doing that.
Yeah, absolutely.
But it goes way deeper, way deeper. And instead of investigations, the men capitulated, ceded power, started writing, started overcompensating. And we're seeing it play out in the narratives here in Hollywood. People scoff, people laugh. People have no freaking idea how dark it gets in Hollywood. Like really dark. There's some very dark, foul places that I may or may not have seen through my drug adventures, we'll just say. Some places that normal creatives wouldn't have seen. Foul, disgusting places. Did not partake in anything, but sold some things to some very nasty people. And yeah, I could definitely see something like that. I can see them going, listen, this is going too far. We are certainly going to stop. Hollywood has an HR now, but we really don't want to investigate any further because we really wouldn't want to expose this other part of Hollywood that could actually bring the town down.
Yeah. I think that at some point they had to hit a hard stop because if they went any further, you're right. I think everything would just collapse on itself.
Oh yeah, so these things only happen in the Catholic Church and they only happen in the Boy Scouts, but how come we never hear about schools in Hollywood? very interesting. Well, I know why we don't hear about schools. They're protected by the union. The union transfers these teachers. So, and I could do that on the other channel someday. A lot of questions don't get asked or don't get answered when it comes to that.
I think most people don't think about it, though.
No, I don't think they want to. Who'd want to? Yeah. Who would want to? Yes. But there are a lot of rules in place when it comes to children as far as on the set. That I know. Like their parents have to be there. There has to be like some state supervision. They can only work a certain amount of hours. I mean, there are tons of regulations on set. After that, and that's where the crap happens. It's not happening on set. Now, some kids have made it through Hollywood with no problem. You know, what's his name from Home Alone? And he continually says everything was fine. Michael Jackson was fine. Everything is fine.
I thought he was kind of screwed up though.
He was, but he's sober now. He was actually on a Red Letter Media video, and he looked pretty healthy. I was kind of happy for him that he got his life together, and he looks much better. And he's actually kind of funny. So good for him, man, for getting his shit together. I like that. That's a good story. Reno for $5. And it's also good. I mean, I think he would tell, well, maybe not. I don't know. But no, Corey Haim, where was the listen and believe to Corey Haim?
No, there isn't. And that's the thing I find so disgusting about this is that, you know, you have listen and believe for women, but you don't have anything for men. And it's like they treat sexual assault of men as a joke.
Yep.
You know, it's not taken seriously at all.
David Morris, that shoe will drop, and it damn near dropped on the BBC. Look into if you dare, Jimmy Savile, who Johnny Rotten tried to tell us all about decades ago. He was on a radio show going, "Oh, there's stuff about him you don't know," and he got shit for it. And there's actually Piers Morgan is interviewing Johnny Rotten, and he brings that up, and Johnny Rotten kind of looked. You actually see Johnny Rotten smile, like a genuine smile, and then you see him genuinely hurt because he felt a little vindicated by that, which was very interesting to see. I'm a huge fan of Johnny Rotten.
I am too. I'm a huge Sex Pistols fan too.
Yes. Rhino for $5. Did you see the EVS video about how John Boyega secretly hates new Star Wars? Boyega lets tweet slip out. I've archived it in case they deleted. Hey, I didn't see the video. I usually do watch his videos. I think it just came on right before I went live. Yeah, hang on to those, please, in case they go away. That's hilarious.
Yeah, DM it to us too. That'd be great. Yeah.
You know what?
I'd love to see those.
My DMs are open. So
Mine
if you can DM me on Twitter or DM Comics, let me know. Let me know if you get them, and we'll share them right now. Elliot Nelson for $5. I really long for the days my friend and I used to wonder about warp cores and transporters. Dude, Elliot,
those days are long gone.
Now it's all politics outrage. Is this getting old? Yeah, that's why I'm saying something. Because it was truly getting old. I wasn't saying things for a couple of years. So what's the end game? That's what you're asking, Elliot. I sense that. What's the end game? My what I want, hopefully in a year this is done and I can go back to reviewing TV and doing top 10 lists, doing long podcasts about shit I like, which will probably bring no fucking clicks, but I don't care. I don't plan to fight this fight forever. No. But it's for as long as I can, because it's honestly doing some good. If I didn't think this was going to do any good, I wouldn't waste my time, Elliot. But this is something, for one, people interacting, exchanging ideas. This is occupying us. This is occupying our minds. This is actually helping stuff. For people who say, oh, it's just outrage. It's just outrage. You know what? Most of those people tend to agree with the people we have a problem with right now. Mm-hmm. Let's be really fucking honest about that. Is they tend to, right now, there is no middle in this fight. That's the problem, because I am the fucking middle, and I'm being called alt-right and all this shit. So now it's time to choose a side, not in a let's get to, actual fighting, but in this debate, the middle line, the goalposts get moved. There is no middle anymore, and you can either not participate. And sure, there's fun podcasts who don't talk about this stuff, and certainly I like partake in those sometimes. It's really
it's their prerogative, man.
Too.
They are well within their right to not talk about it.
And there are genuinely people who just don't want to talk about it. But what, in my experience, people have an opinion. People have a side. Okay.
Yep, that's true.
Always do. Psycho Dwarf 9, $2. SJWism is a shaming religion. It is. And
it is. It is.
And this is we're Comics and I are talking about this, right? We're discussing it with you all, giving you all an outlet, but we're also trying to throw some light on this here on the very bottom levels in entertainment, because it's actually gotten into everything, and it's in some very serious areas where, like, government.
Yes, that's the thing that's really scary, is when you start seeing legislation come out of this. That is the most dangerous thing about this.
Exactly. And science is politicized now.
Yes.
That's fucking dangerous.
Yes. And that's, I think, the reason why they're trying so hard to get into entertainment, is that they're trying to sway the normies to their side. Yep. They want to grow that 9%. Yep. And that's the thing. That's the thing. And this is the reason why I started speaking out against this stuff, is because it's very dangerous. The idea of, trying to politicize science and say that certain things in science is racist or sexist, like the whole idea of sexual dimorphism, the idea, the fact that you have people who are educators saying there's no such thing as biological sex is fucked up. Absolutely fucked up and anti-science. And this is the issue that we need to, address. This is the reason why we need to have our voices heard and stand up against this nonsense.
Absolutely. And that was brought up by that other YouTuber, where this other YouTuber, which I will not say, had brought up some argument about, and they just said there was some science to back it up, but they showed no citation. And
no, there isn't any. That's why.
Yeah. And even if you did, I could show a citation, because science is so politicized. You can show science that, like I said before, to probably back up everything short of a flat earth theory right now.
Yeah. Well, the other thing too is they're trying to use intersex as an example of a third gender. It's like, no, it's a birth defect. It's not a third gender. And these are the things that they're trying to push. And there's, like, a bunch of things in the trans issues, which I'm not going to get into. I don't know much about it.
If it was a third gender, there would be more.
Yes. Yeah.
There would be more. That's it. I mean, like, and we're having these arguments. And what the thing is I can end the argument, well, at least for me right now. I'm not denying anybody's existence at all.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
You can live however the hell you want, and I will treat you as an equal. I don't look down on people. Not my thing. So live how you like. Just don't tell me what to do, and I won't tell you what to do. And we're cool. We could debate. We could argue. We could suggest. That's fine. But when you start telling me what pronouns I can use, I'm going to fight back just to fight back. Whether it's right or wrong, I don't give a shit. But I'm not denying your existence. But don't try to.
But they say you are by
exactly, and then
not using their pronouns.
They try to back it up with politicized science, which could technically be true. But then I could bring up some politicized science that's technically true as well. But you know what? If this all comes down to insecurity and not being okay in your own goddamn skin. You don't need me to validate you. I don't need you to validate me. You don't need science to validate your existence.
You don't need entertainment to justify your existence either.
If you're transgender, you're transgender because you said so. Yeah. That's good enough for me. I don't really care. Just don't tell me I've got to change my entire life because you identify as something.
Yeah, and they're also less than 1% of the population. Yeah. They're such an extreme minority.
And again, live how you like.
Exactly.
Honestly, if there's no kid in the bathroom, use whatever bathroom you like. I don't care. As long as there's no kid in there, we're good.
I think another thing too is I really think what's going to cause the left to unravel is going to be trans rights issues, because you kind of see this already going on in Europe, where if anybody can say, you know what, I'm a woman and you're a man and you're a sexual predator, and suddenly you now have access to exclusively female spaces, that is a very bad thing, because you're not allowed to question.
And that's the thing, is right now we're starting to see a divide, and the women and the men who are like, listen, I'm in San Francisco. This isn't decided by any stretch of the imagination.
No, it's not.
There is gay men who don't agree. Yeah, this is not like a unanimous, like, yeah, there isn't a unanimous decision here about that. All right. And probably one of the most progressive places in the country, there's still people who go, you know, so and honestly, y'all got to work that out. To me personally, and again, this is not denying anybody's existence, it's a construct. It's a construct, and it's a byproduct of a very affluent society, and we have time to talk about this stuff, which means life's pretty good.
Yeah.
Life is pretty good when we can start parsing this shit out. If the sweet meteor of death comes down and evens us all out, your loincloth and your sharpened stick doesn't care what gender you are, and neither does that boar that you're going to have to kill to eat. And it doesn't care about your religion or anything. Then it's just survival. And that's basically what we should kind of think about. It's like, yeah, you know, civilization's living by a thread, but cool. But yeah, we've to go way down the rabbit hole in that. When you fight it in entertainment, it's a little lighter. It's a little easier because the shit is real out there, and it's invading stuff I like.
Yeah.
I really like to watch Doctor Who, but I can't watch the new one now. Because of its politics. Honestly, the politics, I'm trying to decide which franchise the politics are worse in. Like,
another thing too, a good way of putting it is it's cringy when it's in entertainment. It's dangerous when it's in politics and science.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's really dangerous in science, but I mean, it's happening. It's happened. It's already happened.
Oh yeah, I know.
There's no making the soup on that one. So yeah, I'm trying to think of who was the worst offender. I have to say Star Trek Discovery's bad. It's filled with agenda, but it's just bad. I gotta say Doctor Who's the worst when it comes to like agenda. Star Wars is pretty bad too, but that's also just bad. It's just bad. I don't know. Great work, sir. I'm the retracted message from before. Oh, Christy Miller, thank you for the $2. It's okay. You don't have to put it back in there. You can just tell me in the chat. I mean, mods in your super chats, I almost refuse to accept them because you guys are working hard for free. But thank you, Christy. I greatly appreciate it. Secret Rebel, $2. What are your thoughts on the 2008 Music Vault Fire report? Did it happen in 2008? I thought it just happened. What are my thoughts? It's a goddamn tragedy.
What happened?
We lost a bunch of masters to like some of the greatest music ever. Why was it 2000? Is that like the number of the vault? I don't understand why it's called 2008. Hang on. I thought the fire recently happened. But maybe that's just the biggest disaster in music business history went unreported until now.
Holy fucking shit. How do you not report on that? Wow. Over 200 masters lost. That's a damn shame.
In 2008, fire in Universal Studios made news around the world because the vault full of video and television images had burned up, affecting film festivals which were reliant on the ports. What was lost in the news is the Universal's lot was also contained the vault containing thousands of Universal music groups, master recordings. We are talking Al Green, Ray Charles, Elton John, B.B. King, Four Tops, Nirvana, Snoop Dogg, Chuck Berry, Buddy Holly, Tom Petty, Joan Baez, Nine Inch Nails, Neil Diamond, Cat Stevens, Gladys Knight and the Pips, Eric Clapton, R.E.M. Goodbye, R.E.M. I'm okay with that. Hole, I'm okay with that as well. The Eagles, Aerosmith, Rufus and Chaka Khan, Barry White, Patti LaBelle, The Police, no! Sting, Steve Earle, Janet Jackson, Guns N' Roses, all Proper Jenny. Guns N' Roses. By the way, Proper Jenny, I know you're not listening. Guns N' Roses went woke. What are your thoughts on that? Guns N' Roses. Did you hear what Duff actually said?
No, I haven't heard anything about this.
He was talking about, I don't want to get Paul. Basically, he was saying he wasn't as bad as the president, but Guns N' Roses actually were worse than the president as far as the treatment of women. They were horrible. Some of them should be in jail. Mary J. Blige, no doubt. Snoop Dogg, Beck, Sheryl Crow, Tupac Shakur, Eminem, 50 Cent, and The Roots. Wow, that's depressing as hell.
Too bad it wasn't The Root.
That was depressing as hell. So I don't know how this happened. I have actually been in a vault for Disney, and the sun would have to explode for it to hurt anything inside that vault. I'm not kidding. It could survive a certain type of nuclear explosion. Not like megatons, but like an atomic blast, like Hiroshima, it could have survived.
Wow.
Yeah, it's like in a bunker. It's in a literal bunker. So I don't know how that happened. Wow.
Is that the infamous Disney vault they keep referring to?
Mm-hmm. Well, there's multiple ones, but yeah. The one that they keep everything in. Maybe it is. Maybe it is. I like. It's kind of nonchalant. I mean, it's a big deal, but you wouldn't know it if you're walking by. And only twin, $10. Hi guys, I am assuming gender. Now that's how I roll. Thanks for providing, along with Doomcock, my weekend listening. You are quite welcome. Tech Guy, new show, Swamp Woman. Maybe that's what it is.
That's why it was canceled.
That's why it was canceled, Tech Guy. Dalek Empire 3 by Big Finish features the first female Dalek, the Dalek Supreme. Says Nicholas Horton. Is that old or new? Or I don't think I have that one. Let me look into that. But the Daleks aren't male nor female.
Yeah, that's what I always thought. So why would they bring in female Daleks at this point?
Big Finish 3.4 finish. That, oh yeah, that's old. Yeah, Dalek Empire. Yeah, that's like 2004. So that's back in the day. Really? How is it released? And I am very confused about that. It says 2004, but David Tennant. Yeah, I haven't. Yeah. I know Big Finish has been around. I know the story behind Big Finish. It started out as some other company, some guy who was doing stuff when he was like doing these audio plays when he didn't have the rights. And that's what Nicholas Briggs worked with them. And he eventually took over. But the guy who started it was like this crooked SOB who was doing Doctor Who. I think he did a fake Doctor Who movie or something. I was watching a video on it. It was pretty interesting. Doctor Who, the first fandom, ladies and gentlemen, the first.
And probably the last.
And yeah. Dalek Empire 3 by Big Finish. Okay, I'm going to see if I can get that one. I'm waiting on my Tenet collection volume 3 special edition. These things are nice, by the way. Hang on. Like Big Finish, like, you know what? There's something about good presentation, good packaging.
Yeah, that's nice.
So this is the 10th Doctor Adventures volume 2. I'm waiting on volume 3. But these things like just look nice. I like them, but I finally got this. This was as good as the 50th anniversary special, in my opinion. Light at the end. And we have the 8th Doctor, the 4th Doctor, the 6th Doctor, the 5th Doctor, 7th Doctor, a bunch of companions. This was for the 50th anniversary. This was cool as hell. Cool as hell. I love Big Finish. Dean Heist, $2. Hail Gary and Comics. Hail to you.
Hail to you, sir.
JPRP.
You're all awesome.
They are all awesome. You guys are all awesome. Let's go into the chat for a second, shall we? Comics. Thanks again for my mods throwing all this stuff out. Any chance for a classic sci-fi show review like Blake 7 Red Dwarf? Yes, Meta Psychosis. I am going to be restarting my Farscape reviews on Nerdotic Live. I'm going to be doing. It's not going to be scheduled. It's basically whenever I watch a Doctor Who episode and I feel like reviewing it, I'm going to review it on Patreon and then I'll pop it onto Nerdotic Live, but I'll do it live on Patreon. And I watch like a Doctor Who episode, damn near every day. So when I have time, it's like, I want to talk about this one. I'll just sit down and start talking about it. But seriously, over the next couple months, I'm going to be simplifying stuff so I can just create. Content is going to be my main focus for this channel. That's why I want to get the things going for the comic shop now, so I don't have to like get the funding and then get it going and then completely not focus on my channel. That's not how I want to do this, because this is number one for right now. And I want to make videos, but I have to clear out some of the distractions. And some of those are like having a Discord that I don't really need, and fixing up my house, personal stuff. But so I can get back to, because I could actually crank out more material than I do. But I do live stream a lot. I like doing that. Female Dalek not woke enough. Daleks do not have a gender. No, they do not. But apparently they did in the Dalek Empire. Now, if you want to say they don't have a gender, but then you give them a female voice, okay. Sure.
I always thought Daleks all just sounded the same. The high squishy voice that sounds like this.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep, they do. Nicholas Briggs, by the way, who is genius at that stuff. Gary, does Poop Patrol pay a lot to keep SF clean? Mr. Roboto, yeah, it's somewhere in between. For cleaning up poop, I think it's like 80 grand a year plus all benefits. Thank you for the $2. JPRPH1 $4.99. Loves Swamp Thing so far. Only through episode 2 of Good Omens, but like it so far. Great recommendations. Thank you. Yes. Good Omens was fun. What did you think of it overall? Or have you seen it now?
No, I've seen every episode. I really enjoyed it. I had a lot of fun. From what I remember and what I've actually read of the book, it definitely seems to hit a lot of the highlights of the original story. I know that they had to change some things. I know that there's some things that were cut out. But overall, I thought it was a really good story, and it just had 2 woke moments, which just did not make sense why it was even there to begin with.
No, I think it's a mandate.
Yeah, I think it's a mandate. That's the only explanation I could come up with, because it's out of nowhere.
Yeah, they really don't. God damn. You ever go to the sites and it's just all ads. Games Industry Biz, Games Radar.
Ad block.
Okay, here we go. We got one I can deal with here. Think Geek is closing down. Now, Think Geek was kind of a staple at Comic-Con. I will show you. I'll show you guys in a second if I can reach it. Hang on. Something very cool I got at Think Geek.
Yeah, I'm actually kind of shocked by Think Geek. I haven't bought anything from there in a good long time.
I got this.
Nice
Captain America backpack. It's pretty badass. I like it. I don't ever use it. I bought it. I'm like, what the fuck? I don't wear backpacks. I'm not like in junior high anymore. So yeah, but it's really cool. It's a cool shield, but no, go on. Yeah, it's been a while since I bought something either. No.
I'm not surprised that they're going down though.
No, neither of my. For one, look at that little thing on the top left.
Yes.
Honestly, I think a good argument could be made that Pops have artificially kept comic shops open for a long time.
I think you're right. My comic shop has a lot of Pops. They have like 2 huge racks from top to bottom that are nothing but Pops.
Well, I'm sorry. Yeah, there's Pops on the left and Porgs on the right. And you wonder why it's shutting down. It is the cutesifying of the comic industry. Okay, so the comic book genre wanted to bring in more women. It needed more women. I am totally down with there being women. I like the ladies. I wouldn't want to be a sausage fest. Sausage fests suck. The thing is, though, what's kind of happened in some areas, not all, hashtag not all. I equate it to you move in, you're dating somebody, and you move in, and what you thought was going to be, hey, we'll share a space equally, turned into you can have a room and I get the rest of the house.
Yeah.
What? I mean, that's kind of what's happened. Because power, you start ceding power, people just want more and more of it. And this argument I hear, and this is an honest argument I hear from the intersectional side, is that if women were in charge, things would be different. There'd be less fighting. There wouldn't be any war. Yeah, no, that's what they actually think.
Oh, I know. I think it's pretty funny.
It's hilarious. It's
like you know how vicious women can be, right? I mean,
yeah. I mean, last time I checked, they're human beings.
Yeah, they're human just like the rest of us, and they make bad decisions. It's pretty funny because my wife makes comments like that. I was like, what's gonna be nice is someone else getting blamed for shit going wrong for a change.
Should we just go for it?
Yeah.
Matriarch the shit out of this place. I'm just gonna kick back and.
Well, I next time I get in an argument, I'm gonna bring up. You know what? It's about time the next war is just fought by women instead of men.
Yep, all female war.
Yeah, all female war.
There's a fire sale on at Think Geek, which is clearly clearing all stock ahead of a move to GameStop. Sad news, Think Geek is shutting down. Well, kinda. The store is moving over to a partnership with GameStop. So shutting down basically because GameStop's going to shut down pretty soon.
Yeah.
And it's closing its website for good. What does this mean? We're not selling shit anymore. That's what it means. Well, aside from having to buy merch from actual stores, it looks like there's a site-wide discount for 50% off. I don't care. I don't want to buy pops for 50% off. There's some pretty funky pieces of gaming merch at Think Geek, blah, blah, blah. We used to sell Doctor Who stuff, and now we're going out of business. So this was Doctor Who fans here in the States. This was one of the places you could get Doctor Who stuff. You cannot get Doctor Who stuff at very many places now. I believe that's brick and mortar. Okay. I think if you go to target.com, there's old Doctor Who toys. There's no new Jodie stuff. At Barnes and Noble, which do still exist, that is the only place in these states or here in, aside from a weird mom and pop specialty shop, but generally, if you want to buy a Doctor Who DVD, you could buy it at Barnes and Noble. They have an entire section of Doctor Who DVDs. There, if they shut down, that's it. There's no place to walk in and buy a Doctor Who DVD in Northern California, which is a pretty big place. Don't know about SoCal. There's a lot of video stores in SoCal, and there might be a mom and pop here that I don't know about, but generally, no, can't buy them anymore. Got to get them from Amazon. Used to be able to buy Doctor Who toys at Walgreens. They're gone. The 3 3/4 inch sale figures killed the line. Also, I am sorry to say this, Peter Capaldi and Clara killed the line.
Really?
It was dead before Jodie even got to it. Now, I haven't gotten confirmation, but I've heard that the companion 3-pack, which was the only figures they were going to sell aside from Jodie from the Series 11, has been canceled. I've heard that's been canceled.
Why was that? Is it because, because of the storylines? What's that?
Lack of interest.
Lack of interest.
Oh, why did the Capaldi ones?
Yeah.
Well, quality of figures went down when they made them smaller.
Okay.
People weren't really into them, but they were cheaper to make because people weren't. Like the Tenet era was the one era that sold a lot of action figures. Matt Smith did okay, but didn't do great. And there's a reality that's got to kind of sink in with a lot of Doctor Who fans. Is Doctor Who experienced like a real golden age for a little while there, a mini golden age, and then it got popular in the States because of Tenet, but it was after the Tenet era. But people still liked Matt Smith. Like a lot of people still like Matt Smith, but the BBC and Stephen Moffat had a decision to make, and they decided, and I can't say I argue with this logic at all. The initial logic is we want to keep the show British because they certainly had the opportunity to sell it internationally and make it big. But the thing is, it would have lost some of its purity. But
yeah, I can see it. You know, I don't have an issue with them wanting to keep it British. I mean,
yeah,
it makes sense.
but within that, they also went uber political, and that's where you just stuck the dagger in and killed it.
Yeah,
Because you're not like what sells over there, politic wise, it doesn't sell here. It just doesn't. And the vast majority of our country is centrist. And a great barometer of Doctor Who popularity is going to conventions and stuff, and it's just not as popular. It's tired, it's old. It had a chance to reinvigorate itself, and it used up that chance on playing games.
yeah, it's unfortunate.
Yep, it is. So yeah, it's dead. It's dead. I mean, there's like generally no interest in anything anymore. Like even the rumor of Rose coming back, there would have been a time that would have trended on Twitter for a day.
Yeah,
nobody
gives a shit.
Nobody cared. No one, so what? Because they don't want to see Rose with Jodie. They just don't care.
No, well, and God only knows what they'll end up doing with it too. You know,
Well,
it's that's kind of the problem when we were like, I would love to see this come back. The problem is this day and age is not the time to bring it back because it's just going to get ruined.
Okay, let's get to some more super chats. Chris Stanley, $10. Haim and Feldman didn't look good a few years ago, and they're on the reality show. Glad Feldman got his shit together, though. Too bad about Haim. Yeah, both of them. Yeah, deep into drug addiction. There's a lot of things that lead up to that. Partially being born that way, but something probably horrific happened to them in their past, in their very young past, causing them to be self-loathing. And yeah, I think there needs to be some kind of justice for Corey Haim someday,
and Feldman as well,
and Feldman, and for the kids we don't know about, and kids that probably disappeared. I mean, they're dark stuff, man, dark stuff. Mr. Roboto, $5. Answer 2D question of SJWPC is, what would Snowflame do? Also, do you think we will get a Nova Corps movie? What do you think, Comics Division?
I doubt it. But what would Snowflame do? Snort a lot of coke.
Snort a lot of coke, because cocaine is his god, and he is the instrument of its will. Yep. Civilizations are always living on a thread, says Psycho Dwarf 9. Hunter-gatherer. Well, I guess they're just other. I don't know if they're civilizations, but the hunter-gatherers.
They're not. I mean, hunter-gatherers are band level typically. I mean, societies is when you start actually planting crops and building buildings to live in is where you start getting the foundations of society. Yep. Written language is another big one too. I don't know. It's as they say, empires come and go, but I don't see, even if there was something very horrific and let's say things were to collapse, there is always something that would come and replace it.
Yeah.
The question is how good or bad would it be? That could be debatable.
That's true.
But a lot of those things are kind of dependent on resources, and that's a huge thing. Is as long as there's resources, and you don't have massive political strife, things will be relatively stable. The problem is, I think that we are kind of getting to that point where you're going to see less access to resources as well as more and more political strife. So you never can tell. We might go the way of Rome.
Eventually we will. I don't think it's a if. I think it's a when. I mean, it could be 1,000 years. Who knows? But
yeah,
it ain't gonna last forever. Looking to be looking to be a Captain Spire for $10. Looking to be objective on Star Trek Online. I was told about Kentwalski saying he debunks you, Mahler, and Doomcock's reviews. Yet his comments are snips of your points and too many empty-ended points. Somebody does clips of my reviews. Who's Kentwalski? I never heard of him. So Star Trek Online. Okay, looking to be objective on Star Trek Online, I was told, okay, Captain Spire, little slow. Okay, follow me, but I didn't drink enough of your coffee, Mazel Tov, my friend. On Star Trek Online, I was told about Kent Walski, saying he debunks you, Mahler, and Doomcock's reviews. Okay, the nads on this kid to think he can debunk Mahler and Doomcock. I mean, sure, you can debunk me. I don't care. Yet his comments are snips of your points and too many empty-ended points. Yeah. I mean, like, he debunks that I think Star Trek Discovery sucks. Am I wrong about my opinion? Comics, I think I'm wrong about my opinion.
About Discovery sucking?
I've been debunked.
Oh no.
My opinion
Whatever will you do?
I guess I can enjoy Star Trek Discovery now, thanks to Kent Walski. Thanks.
Well, there you go.
That sounds like should I go there? Sure. That sounds like a lot of Polish philosophy right there. It really does. Yeah. Michael Blair, $9.99. That's old 70s stuff. We love the Poles. Okay, they're awesome. You're like fucking the rebel country in Europe. I actually truly love that fucking country because it's got balls. Michael Blair, $9.99, but no comment. Michael Blair, do you have a comment? Please put it in the chat if you do. Thank you, Michael. I appreciate it. You rock. C Walker 94, $2. Did you see the Star Trek logo on Mars? I did. That was cool. The Star Trek Delta on Mars. Does anybody want to see that?
I'll show you. Go for it.
That was, I love it. I lined the planet Vulcan and yeah. I had this theory when I was on acid one time, and I know that's really not a great way to start any sentence, but what the fuck? I was on acid. I was on a lot of freaking acid, and I was thinking about Lord of the Rings, and I was thinking about like how fleshed out it felt. And I'm like, what if Lord of the Rings was real and it was just some age a million years ago and the planet has gone through cataclysms and it's just been wiped through the earth, and what we are just drawing on the I forgot what the name of the library.
Akashic Record.
Akashic Record. We're drawing on the Akashic Record, and we're just remembering things that actually happened in the distant past or on other planets, but they're not actual imagination. They're things that actually happened. That's an acid thought, by the way. That's a straight up LSD. Like, whoa.
Yeah. Sounds like
I'm not saying I believe it, but it's just like, it's one of those things you thought about when you're on acid.
I think I find the whole Akashic Record thing to be kind of interesting. The idea of that there's the collective unconscious of humanity.
Oh, you want to know why I believe it? Because I think there's actual evidence of it when those people bump their head and they wake up and they know Chinese and can play piano and stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, where in the fuck does that come from? I mean, it's got to come from somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
So here we go. Yeah, there's a Star Trek Delta.
That's interesting.
So after we give STD so much shit for doing the Delta in the sand in the first episode, because it was stupid, by the way, it was during a storm. Nobody could see it. Plus they have sensors and Kurtzman is lame. But that's cool. That's cool. But that's, is that now the question has to be asked, is that Delta 25% different? Is this under the J.J. Abrams license, or is it the original license? I'm going to say original license. That's what I'm going to say. Fuck CBS.
That is interesting, though. That's crazy.
That's cool. Gamer Gambit for $10 says, "Chow, is it Italian for food?" Yes, it is. Missed such good acting. Watched Good Omens 3 times now. Spent my youth getting shot at for my country. Saw a different side of dark life. Americans are very sheltered. We are a very
absolutely.
Gamer Gambit, I did not go and get shot at for my country. You did something very honorable and sacrificing yourself so we can bitch about shit on the internet. So I have my eternal thanks. I have seen the dark places within our country, the places that are forgotten, the men that are forgotten, the horrible. Listen, the one thing that I've seen with my own eyes that I can absolutely attest to is there are an unusual just there's a lot of people. I won't go down the rabbit hole. There's a lot of people in prisons. Most people, 99.9% of them are there due to some one of two things, or a lot of times both: child abuse, drugs. And I'm talking victims. All these were victims of child abuse, neglect, which is child abuse, and drugs. Prisons would be empty if we could get a handle on that somehow, but I don't think we can. I think we got the best handle on it we can in a free society, to be honest with you. And it just sucks. It just sucks for some. Not everybody's going to make it.
Yeah. And, I think that is true. But I think that there's a lot of things we can do as a society to try and tackle these issues. But the problem is that neither side wants to deal with it because they benefit from not dealing with it.
Yeah, the people in power right now benefit from both sides, and both sides are probably, in my opinion, possibly funded by the people who want the game to continue. So
probably.
I'm just saying that, as I have to cover my ass by saying in my opinion. You know what I actually believe.
Yeah.
Chris Stanley for $10. Heyman Feldman. Oh, I already read that one. Sorry. Chris Stanley, thank you for the $10, my friend. It is good to see you. And you are right, Psychodwarf. Civilizations are always hanging off by a thread. Ignis 745 for a pound 99. I've got 99 problems and your gender's not one. That's right.
It actually is a really good way of putting it. I hear this all the time. It's like we are 3 meals away from anarchy.
Oh God, yeah. God, that's a good one. I like that one. I like that one a lot.
It's very true if you think about it.
I learned a lesson I learned a lot of lessons when I got in trouble, and I went to that bad place when I was in my 20s. I was a pup. The first lesson I learned is how quick things can go sideways, and you could be sitting there minding your business, eating a meal across from a guy, and then that guy has got a pencil sticking out of his neck that somebody stabbed there, and it's like bleeding Monty Python all over your macaroni and cheese. And then all of a sudden everybody's trying to kill each other right around you. And I just, went into the table because that was the only thing I could figure out what to do. Yeah, life comes at you fast.
Yeah. Jesus.
And we are very sheltered. And I think that's generally a problem right now, is we got a giant portion of the population who hasn't fucking done anything. They haven't gone to another country. They haven't no real life experiences. And it just bends your perspective. Honestly, if I hadn't have gone through that and traveled a little bit, I'd probably be the same. I don't know. This is the best YouTube channel. Sorry, comics. LOL. Dr. Venkman says.
I already told Venkman he's banned. So
you're not banned here, Venkman. You're my favorite too. This is science, man. Daniel, $5. Instead of digging up and desecrating the cinema corpses of the past, maybe the movie industry should care about preserving our culture greats. Yeah, and taking care of our music too.
Yeah, that would be fantastic.
Daniel, you are correct, sir. So they're bringing Dune back, but are they doing the movie and then a TV series focused on the sisters or something? I know a little bit about Dune, not a lot. Not as much as I should. I promise you, Dune fans. Oh, I see a Dune thing. I promise you, Dune fans, I will ingest as many books as possible, as many times as possible, so I will know what the hell I'm talking about when I review it and check it out. And hopefully I'll love it. Gary, do you think the Dune 2020 will go for totally woke and cut the Kwisatz Haderach, the prophecy of the man that can go where women cannot? Yes, they're cutting that out. I think I even heard that. Illuminati 2020.
Illuminati.
I heard, where did I hear that? I heard that they're going to focus on a female character. Or did I hear that from I'm sorry. I mixed that up with the Wheel of Time. My bad. No, I did not hear that. I heard the Wheel of Time is focusing on a female character, not a male character. Counters 074. Thank you for the $1 donation. I greatly appreciate it. Blue-eyed Scorpio, $1.99. Skipped my second super chat. Offended. Scream at Sky. Did I? I'm gonna go up and look. I'm sorry if I did. But I probably did it on purpose because I didn't want to talk to you.
Okay.
Blue-eyed Scorpio, $1.99. I read this one? Did they cancel Swamp Thing because he's a toxic male? Is there another one that I missed? That was a good one. I don't mind reading it again.
Yeah, it was a good one.
Maybe there was another one I missed. Yeah, this doesn't hold everything up. There was. Wish I could fund a barbed wire movie just to make femicist heads explode. Femicists.
Femicists.
Pessimists.
We'll
heads.
We'll just call them my fifis are hurt.
I like pessimists. But Fifi's is good too. Side note, my phone tried to autocorrect that to feminism. They did? It did? Yes, I'm sure it did. Pessimism. It's pessimism. Fake temporary power, says the Cape, $2. Okay, so there was a couple I missed there. Oh, wow. That sucks. Okay, now we're getting back down here. Okay, we're almost done here. We're almost done. Scream at the sky. Are you done screaming at the sky? Blue-eyed Scorpio. I read it. I'm sorry. Psycho Dwarf 9, $5. Sorry, ladies, gentlemen. Have you ever seen 30 women stuck down range when the cycle when their cycles sink? Bring Kevlar. Man, easy, Tiger. If I say that out loud to my wife, I'll need Kevlar from the stab wounds I'll get. No, I'm just kidding. She's fucking rad. My wife's awesome. Somebody said something on the Facebook group that pissed her off, though. So you're on your own there.
Whoever you are, better wear Kevlar.
Better wear Kevlar, man. That's all I'm saying is like, you piss off Mrs. Neurotic, she is free to say whatever the hell she wants. Free speech on our Facebook group. So look out, but just don't fuck with that. I'm just saying it's best not to. KKC, $10. Hey, Gary, what are your thoughts on Tulsi Gabbard and Andrew Yang? Check out JRE Podcast, Tim Pool and Jim Dore Show. Tulsi and Andrew both have great policies and aren't following the far left. Is that the one Tim Pool likes?
Yeah, Tulsi Gabbard, and I know that Dave Rubin just did a interview with Andrew Yang, and he seems like a pretty reasonable person.
No, he's not going to go very far here.
No. I mean, I don't think they're going to go very far because they're not extreme enough for the Democratic Party these days. It's unfortunate.
I think it's time for a third party.
Yeah.
And not just a fringe ass third party. I think there needs to be a legit centrist party at this point.
And I want to say also the Democratic Party was giving Tulsi Gabbard crap because apparently she owns a firearm and they're not too happy with that.
So I don't even go down that rabbit hole.
Yeah.
Okay. Great. Rhaegar Targaryen, $4.99. The biggest sin of Dark Phoenix is the character assassination of Professor X. Agreed.
Charles, you're not helping me hang pictures.
I'm in a wheelchair. I'm in a wheelchair. That was fucking good.
That was great.
Charles, I'm trying to change the bulb in this lamp. I'm in a wheelchair. Plus, no Hellfire Club or Shi'ar. They, you know what? They talked about the Shi'ar Empire and Legion. You got to give Legion props for trying. Okay, they actually referenced the Shi'ar Empire in Legion. Two groups which made the saga great. And you can't make the saga without them. Plus, you can't have a Dark Phoenix saga without Cyclops and Wolverine. Okay, you just can't.
Well, apparently, you may have heard this too, or you may have talked about it in the video. They were supposed to be multiple movies, but they got condensed down into one.
But the very first thing is you need a good Jean Grey. Sophie Turner
Yeah.
was the only reason Sophie Turner was cast is because she had
Game of
red hair
Thrones.
and she was in that big show that they probably couldn't even name.
Yeah.
Without even watching a single episode.
I mean, she doesn't look like Jean Grey to me.
She has no command presence. The reason she was picked as Sansa Stark is because Sansa Stark is somewhat of a waif. And she didn't. She wasn't very. The thing is, she probably could have. She played the part well. Okay, she did. And the writing let her down in that show, but she was not ready for prime time in Dark Phoenix. For one, they would have been better off letting her keep her natural accent. I'm okay with Jean Grey not being American. Femke had a pretty bad American accent too, but at least, I just assumed that they kind of just didn't, because she's not Lithuanian, Sweden. I can't even remember, but she had a definite accent as well. Femke Janssen.
Oh, Femke Janssen. Okay.
Yeah. Captain Mary Sue SJW $1.99. Did you ever watch Celluloid's Disaster Piece Theater? No. What's that?
God, that sounds familiar.
I'm gonna look it up real quick.
I believe Celluloids is a
Celluloids.
Yeah, is a YouTube channel.
It must be because he's spelling it SALUL. Yeah, so it's got to be a YouTube channel then. Is it like one of those old school ones that I didn't watch for some reason?
Maybe.
Disaster Piece Theater. I'm looking it up now. I'm telling you, there are YouTubers with millions of subscribers I've never heard of.
Yeah. Well,
no,
there's a lot of YouTubers out there.
There's a Wikipedia. Okay. Disaster Piece Theater was a comedy television program that aired early 1980s on XETV. You're okay. This was
That's why it sounds familiar.
From San Diego. XETV's Channel 6 from San Diego. I know Gary Cocker. It had Richard Simmons, Michael Jace, and J. Michael Straczynski. I need to see a picture of this. I'll tell you if I recognize a face there, because this is okay. So 1980. It's in the 80s. I should know this then. Hang on. Give me a second. I'm trying to remember something from my.
The gears are a turning.
Yes, I remember that. Holy crap. I have not seen or freaking thought about this in years. Wow. Oh my God, you rock. That is not something that has crossed my mind and in years. Yeah, so it was on Channel 6, which was it's the station out of Tijuana. So all of the best radio stations and TV stations came out of Tijuana. I grew up on Lucha Libre wrestling with the Mexican announcer and everything, and that's why I like Spider-Man, because Spider-Man had what it looked like a Lucha Libre mask,
right,
mask to me, and that's my earliest memories are watching that on. There was Channel 12. It was the station from Tijuana. I couldn't understand a word, but they would show cartoons and wrestling. And I was, like what, 4, 5. I didn't need to hear the language. Delta logo on Mars has got to be aliens trolling us. Jedi Knight and friend to elite us at $2. Yes. And that would be refreshing if the aliens were just kind of funny. That would be, I'd like that.
Let's fuck with these highly evolved monkeys. I think they're apes, sir. They're
Ultimate
apes.
Troll is like bring in a fake invasion and just go, we're kidding. Ha ha ha. Welcome to the galaxy, kiddos.
Sorry, we killed half your population, but joke's a joke.
Joke's a joke. Free speech, right? Am I right? No. Commodore Stargazer, $5. Proof of intelligent life on Mars. They love original Star Trek too. Yes. Yes. Loquacious Primate, $10. Opinions cannot be debunked as they are subjective. Only claims to objective truths can be debunked by arguing the premise facts are false or the conclusion does not logically follow from the premise. Gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
See, Loquacious Primate is the brains of the operation. But I'm trying to think when it comes to Star Trek Discovery, debunking my arguments. I don't know if I've made like an argument, like a subjective argument on Star Trek Discovery. I think I'm pretty like opinion based. I think I keep it to I don't like it. I think it sucks. I think it's the worst television show. I'm not stating it as a fact that nobody should enjoy this.
Well, that's the whole thing with entertainment. Yeah. Whether you like it or not is purely up to your personal taste and standards, and therefore that is subjective.
Yeah.
I mean, if there's actual, I would say like mechanical issues, you can point that out as an issue.
Yeah, I'd love to debate them. I mean, if I did make those statements, I'll back it up. I just can't remember. But certainly, Logan for Liberty. I love your name, man, because that's my son's name for one, and I love Liberty. $2. Found you through Young Ripa 59. Love your channel. Love you too, but in a manly kind of way.
Yeah, well, and Young Ripa is awesome. I love
Young Ripa is the shit. I got to get that guy back. Because last time we talked Vox Apocalypse, which was really cool, but I want to talk to him about comic books.
Yeah.
But we'll get him back on, and he's great. Femke is Dutch. Eric says, Eric K. Thank you. Just totally got that one wrong, but that's okay. I'm a Femke fan. I dug her. I thought she was a pretty damn good Jean Grey. Duke Leto for $4.99. Any good comics out there besides EVS's Cyberfrog? Going to buy 2 copies when I get my paycheck. Keep it up, guys. Don't let the bastards keep you down. Buy the Vampirella #1 by Christopher Priest, because I think that's legitimately going to be good because he's a good
Christopher
writer.
Priest is an awesome writer.
So go to Dynamite website and get and also I think EVS is offering up an EVS a Cyberfrog Vampirella crossover that only he's doing. Richard, your boy Zach did a book called Jawbreakers, which is pretty good. I think Chuck Dixon's doing one. I haven't read it, but Chuck Dixon's awesome.
I have it. I have not read it yet, but I need to read Ravage Kill All Men. Yeah,
Chuck Dixon's freaking great.
Yeah, he's really good.
If you want to get older comics, I can like what if God, the one modern comic I did like was that new Batman Scott Snyder comic book. That was fucking good. That was pretty good.
Which one was that?
I can't remember the title. The one that just came out. The red cover. Can't remember. No, I just bought it in Palm Springs and I liked it. Ryan Champ, $4.99. Hey Gary, a late congrats on 100K. Thank you very much. Second, how do you have the action figures behind you mounted on the blue background? Okay, so they are mounted with a push pin in between their legs, or if there's if I can't do it because of a dress or something, because if it's a female character, I pin under their arms. So yeah, it's just push pins. That's why they fall sometimes when the ground shakes here, or when I walk by, or when my dogs, or when my kid slams the door too hard, they fall off. I've had the entire wall come down because my kid slammed the door. I'll kill him.
That sucks. That'd be a lot of work to get that back in place.
It's killing me. Last Night on Earth, #1.
Okay.
Yeah. That was good, but it's a Batman book. Okay. So I was like, and Scott Snyder. Your boy Zach doesn't like Scott Snyder, but I do. Ryan Champ, thank you very much for the $4.99 and asking that question. You know what? When I redo The Office, I'll probably film some of it so you guys can see parts you haven't, and you can see what I'm doing. So I'm going to give you guys more than one angle. Aren't you getting tired of this angle? So I'm getting rid of this bookshelf. Well, I'm not getting rid of it. It's going over there so I can hang up more action figures over here. Yeah. Oh yeah. It's going to be fun. Joni Baloney for $20. Glad to hear a real ninja. That's been the reviewing. They're reviewing pop culture rather than a soy-laden Gen Y loser. Brah, brah. Hit subscribe. Been trying to type about obvious and young about Obvious and Youngling. K piss getting blocked. PG is real. That's right. That's right, Joni Baloney for $20.
Damn.
Nikolai. Okay, I'm just gonna say Nicole for Canadian $5. Whoa, just checked out the Ketwalski dude. Covers new Trek exclusively and has weird hate for Doomcock. Poochie.
There you go.
Okay. Nicole, thank you. Nicole Poochie. So my last name is pronounced Beekler, but it's spelled like it's pronounced Buchler. Yeah. I don't know. He has a hate for Doomcock, but he doesn't hate me. Well,
maybe he does hate you.
I'm offended that he doesn't hate me more than he hates Doom. No. Okay. You can disagree with Doomcock. I don't understand how you hate Doomcock. Yeah, he does the whole villain thing, but seriously,
that's fucking hilarious, though.
Doomcock's one of the nicest freaking guys in the world. I'm sorry to blow his cover, but how could you hate? Like, his arguments are eloquent, even when he's tearing something to bits.
Mm-hmm.
It is out of love. You can tell it's out of scorn, fucking rageful love. I'm snarky. I will be a fucking smartass about something. But no, man, how could you be mad at Doomcock? Who else did he hate? It was me and somebody else. Ketwalski. Let me guess. Here, let's go look at Ketwalski. I'm not picking on YouTubers, okay? He can say what he wants. I don't really care. If he likes Star Trek Discovery, there's no toxicity out of that bad. That's all I got to say about that. Good for him. I don't want to look for it. I'm bored already. Okay.
Kent Walski, that's his name.
Yeah, it's Ket. Ketwolski. Ket Walski. I've seen his videos before. He's a youngster. He was going after Midnight's Edge. And I think Midnight's Edge had him on because Midnight's Edge, I mean, Andre's a classy dude. So Techno Gary. Is that what he looks like? He looks like Techno Boy, Artemis. He does. He looks a little bit like Techno Boy. Doomcock is love, right? I mean, you know, subjugation can be love to a lot of people here in this town. Subjugation is love.
I'm pretty sure they have, very exclusive nightclubs for that in San Francisco.
Yeah. Oh, and Midnight's Edge After Dark. Yeah, that's assumed. Yeah, he's got. Well, I'm sure I just put out a Kurtzman is probably fired video. I was expecting the Dreckies to come out of the fucking wherever they come from, and honestly, they disappoint me. They're nowhere. You know what's going to be funny, though, is when I wear my Justice for Anas shirt at the Star Trek convention.
Oh,
that's going to be funny.
Oh,
that's right.
That's going to be beautiful.
That's right.
You might get physically accosted.
I hope I do. That'd be great. I haven't been in a fight in like decades. Long time. Been living this peaceful, easy life.
Nothing wrong with that, sir.
And that attack on Shatner by that podcast, I don't even know. Did that really start by that one woman who just said, hot take, I would rather somebody be alive than the other person? Was that really what started, or was it something before that? Help me out, chat. Because I couldn't find it all the way. I mean, it's horrible. And then that half-ass apology from the podcast. And then I find out there's a whole group of people who say they like Star Trek and hate Shatner.
Yeah.
And like,
yeah, I don't get that.
You see Trekkie proudly blocked by Shatner. That's kind of what's wrong. I mean, if you want to, that exemplifies what's wrong. Star Trek fandom has turned the new Star Trek and Star Wars fans who are just giant mouths that you can throw stuff into, and they'll just take
They're
whatever.
mouths that eat garbage.
They're undiscerning mouths that you can like poop into, and they won't care. I mean, that's pretty much.
But that's what they want, though. This is what this is what Kathleen Kennedy wants, and this is what who the fuck is doing Star Trek wants. They want mouths they can pile their shit into.
Yep.
It's ridiculous. That's the reason why they hate the fandom. And that's the reason why you have all these hit pieces, coming out about the fandoms and whatnot and calling it toxic. Did you hear about Candyman?
Yeah. Oh God, Jordan Peele.
I need to talk about that. Fuck that guy, man.
Fucking
I used to like his stuff, man. I used to think he was pretty funny. It's like, dude,
I did too.
You're getting way too fucking woke.
I liked Key and Peele, and then
Key and Peele was great.
But now I can't stand him forever for what he's done to fucking Twilight Zone. I mean, it's ridiculous. And it's also sad. I mean, I'll probably do a season review of Twilight Zone. There's enough I could do like a Mahler thing. I'm doing a Mahler thing on Star Trek Discovery season 2 and a certain movie. I don't know if anybody's going to watch it, but I did promise I would do this on this movie because there were some out there going, it wasn't that woke at all. I'm all, oh, really? Really? If I find 10 woke things, I think it's officially woke. In an hour and 40, I don't want to say. I'll tell you after we go.
Okay.
Jordan Peele, thumbs down. That's right. I'll tell you, it's fucking Captain Marvel.
No, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, there's so much. There's so much.
Oh, I'll find 10 things in the first 20 minutes, right?
Yeah.
I mean, there's little things. We talked about it. I remember.
We did, man.
We talked about the blue eyes statement, by the little girl. Or not the little girl. It started out with the Australian scroll. I forgot his name now. He's all, I'm really gonna miss having those beautiful blue eyes. And then the little girl who's says to the girl scroll, she goes, your eyes are good just as you are. It's a little statement like that. Like, I'm gonna miss the blue eyes. Pff, fuck blue eyes. Your eyes are good the way they are. I know what's behind that statement.
Mm-hmm.
Alex knows what behind it. It sounds people go, what are you talking about? She just said blue eyes. It's like, yeah.
Who has blue eyes, man? Who has blue eyes?
Yeah. Come on.
Let's be honest. Let's be honest.
Did my stream just go bad? It just went bad. Here, let me.
Looks like you're still going.
Okay, that's good. It just might look bad for a second. Let me. My kid's probably streaming. That started up again.
Sounds like your internet needs more fiber in its diet.
Yeah, it does. It certainly does. I really need to get that. I need to get that. You're right. I made the phone call, but it's like a week away or something.
What you talking about? Google Fiber?
Yeah, I'm gonna get Google Fiber. I'm changing companies to Sonic.
Yeah, I had the line put in today, so they just need to put the box in and get everything
nice
in place. But yeah, the fiber's sitting there, just waiting.
That's brilliant.
That's
brilliant. Yeah, I can't wait to be able to have a new machine and have my video upload. Like that Doctor Who video took an hour to process.
Well, see, that's the thing with Google Fiber. Just make sure to use your VPN.
Yes,
because we all know what Google does with your data bits.
Yep. Oh yeah. But so it took me forever to upload that video, just to burn it from ScreenFlow, and then to upload it to YouTube, it took 20 minutes. So it's like an hour, over an hour. Yeah. So I'm Patreon. You guys are going to get an unreleased video, by the way. I'm not putting it on the channel. I did it and I'm like, So, I mean, it's not like I'm giving you the dredges. It's about Sophie Turner and her bad couple of weeks, and I felt like after I did it, I'm like, it sounds like I'm kind of picking on her.
Well, you are, but
I was.
Doesn't mean it's not justified.
It's pretty justified, but I just it's for Patreon. It's fine. I've got a Game of Thrones video coming out in the morning. There's a pretty interesting story that dropped. Nicole, yeah. Thank you for the $5. Nola Cardboard says $5. She had tweeted it many times. That was just the most recent time, and Shatter called her on it. Okay, so it wasn't just once, it was multiple times. Well, then F her.
Yeah,
F her. She gets what she deserved then. I thought it was like just once, everybody went nuts, and still she's stupid for doing it. But if it was multiple times and she was just doing it to get his attention, and then he finally said, okay, Biatch, you got my attention. And then somebody gets mad at Shatner for calling his legions. So apparently he put up with it for a while, and she asked for it. That's what she wanted. That's exactly what she wanted.
It's exactly what she wanted, because it's all about the victimization game. If you can make yourself the victim, everybody will run to your aid and talk about how great you are, and you get that nice little pity party going.
Explain this to me. I want you to try, because I truly do not understand, and I've never understood this. And I've been on Twitter a long fucking time. My thing says 2008. I was on there, like, that's 10 years ago. Why do people spend so much? Is there a way to monetize Twitter that I am not aware of?
No, not that I'm aware of.
So Will Wheaton spent all that time getting that whole following for what? I mean, I guess he got gigs out of it, but somebody, and I'm not saying you need to monetize, but there's got to be something that justifies how much time you spend.
Well, I think a lot of it is, it's in a way, it's that gamification of thing. It's the endorphin rush. That's the reason why a lot of people, do the virtue signaling. It's they like seeing that people like their opinion, getting those thumbs up and whatnot. So it's definitely a dopamine hit to these people.
Gotcha.
Yeah, there's definitely, I think, a bit of an addiction factor that comes to it, specifically when it comes to like gamification of social media.
Good night, Captain Spire. Have a good night. Thank you.
See you, Captain Spire. So I think that's what has a lot to do with it. When you see people retweeting your stuff and liking it, you're like, oh my God, people like what I said. Maybe I should say more of it. And I think that's the reason why you kind of see people spiral out of control on Twitter.
Yeah. And I mean, there's some of me, part of me understands it. I'm just wondering why somebody like, if you're in your 20s and you're slinging it and you're creative and you're like giving each other shit, I get that. But if you're like my age, you're my age doing this.
Yeah.
And again, like, do it over on YouTube. Like, find a way to do it on YouTube. At least you get paid. Like, eventually you get paid. And that, honestly, it justifies it, I think. To do all that stuff for free for just that dopamine hit, go find some drugs. I hate to say that, but I mean, it's an addiction's an addiction.
Yeah, I mean, it is a drug, though. That's the thing.
Yeah. What show did you dislike when it was released, but grew on you when you revisited it? Oh, I can answer that question with two shows. Nina Fabiano, thank you for the $5. Legion, did not like it when it first came out. And Orville, did not like it when it first came out. Did not like the first two episodes. Did not like Seth MacFarlane. Stopped watching it. A bunch of people, when I had like a couple thousand subscribers, kept going, nope, go back and watch it. Go back and watch it. Go back and watch it. I mean, like over and over, kind of like with Chernobyl and The Last Kingdom recently. So I'm like, I relented. I said, fine, I'll go back and watch it. And then it was up to like episode 7 at that point, 8, and I burned through it and I went, oh man, it's fucking good. So much so I reviewed the last 2 episodes. Legion, it's on the channel somewhere. You can hear my episode 2 review. I rip it. I did not like it at all. And then we stuck with it, and by episode 4 I was loving it.
God, for me, like the first show, I won't say first show, but the remake of Battlestar Galactica, when it initially came out, I fucking hated it.
Really?
Yeah.
I could kind of understand. I mean, I loved it from the very first second. I was
But
like,
yeah, I mean, but I was a diehard fan of the original 70s, run of it. So I was like, what the fuck? What did they do to my Battlestar? And it actually took me reading a dude's article online that really kind of swayed me. It was like it's like, come on, let's be honest. It's 70s camp. And he kind of laid out a bunch of other stuff, and I was like, okay, fair enough point. It's like I'll give this thing a chance then. And the other thing I thought was really funny is like I want to say it was maybe like a year or so later, I ended up watching some original Battlestar Galactica, and I was like, God damn it, their unit of measurement is horsemen, centaurs. Their unit of measurement is centaurs. It's like, how fucking goofy is that? It's like,
I wish I could have I remember, okay, so always been a fan, love the ships, and I remember having conversations with my little nerd friends going,
I still love it though, by the way.
Battlestar. I had these conversations when I was a teenager. I said, Battlestar Galactica is a great concept. It's a great concept. It's just, it wasn't executed very well, but using the gods and everything about it was, oh, fuck. If he would have just stuck with, I mean, they made it too expensive to begin with to make it look like Star Wars back. That's why it got canceled, by the way. It had great ratings. It was just too damn expensive. And if they would have dialed it back, that show could have been Star Trek. It really could have, because it had the concept there. But it was also in a very bad time for TV. Television was completely disposable trash back then. A great explanation is music back then was probably the most sophisticated form of art. When it comes to film, television, and music, followed closely by film. Film was coming into it like they were doing some crazy good things in film, and it was right around. But honestly, 70s, 60s music, as far as art being popular art being sophisticated, it's hard to beat. Beatles, super bands, all that shit. That was like a really cool time. We're in that time for television right now. We just don't know it yet. Like, this television is far superior to film. Again, a lot of people just don't know it. There's a lot of people.
Oh no, I completely agree with you, because you can definitely do better long form storytelling with TV than you can with a movie. You have to condense everything with a movie. But the other thing too is like, the original score, for the intro to Battlestar Galactica is fucking amazing.
Oh, absolutely. And I'm glad they at least incorporated. So I felt the way you did when I first heard about the concept. I'm like, fuck this. And I was at Comic-Con when Edward James Olmos at the first Battlestar panel comes out and goes, yeah, if you like the old Battlestar, you're going to hate this one.
Yeah.
And that was not received well at all. People were like, what the fuck is he talking about?
Well, but the other thing too I thought was really cool is that, I mean, Battlestar was a very political show, and they did it in such a good way because there was balance to it. Like, the whole thing was suicide bombing and all that stuff. I mean, you had all that going on because you had the Iraq War going on, and they handled the material very, very well, and it wasn't like overly ham-fisted.
But the other reason he got away with that is he's Gaff from Blade Runner. So he got a little bit of hisses and stuff, but he was fucking right. Well, and listen, and we've said this before. Katie Sackhoff proved that you can swap a female for a male part, and if it's written well, but they made it an alternate universe, and it was written well. They did not replace the original Starbuck. They made a new one. That is a lot different. So yeah, don't ever bring that argument with Doctor Who, please. Doctor Who replaced a male character, but in the canon, he can be whatever gender he wants, and Time Lords are beyond it. Okay, if Time Lords are beyond it, why would he switch genders then if they were beyond it?
Exactly.
If it truly didn't matter, why? Because it does matter.
Why were all the other Doctors male?
Yeah, exactly.
If it didn't matter.
It didn't matter. Okay. Makes me want to watch Battlestar. I've got the complete series right over there with an Adama action figure standing on it. 78 had Jane Seymour. She was no, 78 had a lot of nice looking lady. X is actual a Cylon. Go after. Well, also the Cylons well, they also had Lucifer.
Yeah,
you know,
Lucifer was
and
pretty awesome.
Baltar, and the Cylons were there was the Cylon Centurions and then the Cylons.
Yeah.
And they look cool as hell. But the freaking Vipers were awesome looking.
Mm-hmm.
They were. That is a Jeff McKelvey. I'm gonna have to hit you, Jeff McKelvey. I want a Viper. I want an original Cylon Raider. I want a Battlestar Galactica, and I want a big ass Enterprise. I'm gonna pay you for those. He's the 3D Trekker guy. I want those hanging from my ceiling. Good night. Yeah. So I'm gonna read the last few super chats, and I'm gonna get the hell out of here. We got to get going. Eric K. Lucky, you're a good guy. You missed too many super chats. Eric, when have I missed a super chat tonight? Did I say I was done? Robert Meyer Burnett really let me down last week and caused me to really. Oh, JPRPH1. Eric K, I'm just giving you a hard time. Robert Meyer Burnett really let me, but Eric, you got to remember when you say something like that, brother, even if you're joking, I don't miss them. I really don't. I go back and check, and you got to be listening to the full 3 hours. And if I do miss one, I make it up the next time. So I don't want it to sound like that I'm missing a lot of super chats. I might miss a couple, but missing a lot of super chats is like missing 5 or 10 a live stream, which I do not do, Eric. I don't. RMB, Robert Meyer Burnett, really let me down last week and caused me to unsub to his channel when he devoted not one but 2 live streams singing the historical praises of Kathleen Kennedy. That was a bit much. Yeah. And again, that's his opinion. That's his opinion, and he's entitled to his opinion on his channel.
Yep.
But he, as a creative, should know more than anybody, Hollywood is about one fucking thing. What have you done for me lately? Legacy only means shit right now because she is a woman. And she is one of the few women who stuck with and was around during the making of a lot of great movies, which she did play a part in. How big of a part? I have no idea. I wasn't there. But I am watching her run Lucasfilm into the fucking ground. And there is no other way to say it. There's no nicer way to say it. And I am one of the people who was praising her hiring, thought it was great. I'm like, this is a natural. Like, she's been there the whole time. But some people are really good producers and they're shitty boss and they're shitty executive producers or CEOs. Some people just top out of their position, or some people are just really good at something and maybe not another. Maybe Kevin Feige is great at running the MCU, but if he goes to CEO at Disney and he runs it into the ground, sometimes that shit happens. How many times in the sports ball do you get a good offensive coordinator? You hire him as a head coach and he completely sucks. Norv Turner is a great example. Kathleen Kennedy is the Norv Turner of freaking franchises. She was a good offensive coordinator, but the minute they made her a head coach, she brought mediocrity at best, divided the fan base, and my God, did Norv Turner divide the fan base. He was a coach of the Chargers. Maybe the aliens want us to come to them so they can beat delivery food. Maybe, Eric K for $5. Maybe. Joni Bologna for $20. Glad to hear. I already read that one. I got a notification. Yeah, RBM kind of maybe he was looking to do a subscriber purge. Sometimes
that happens, I guess.
Yeah. Well, he also did like a pro Captain Marvel one. So yeah, I kind of have a feeling he felt like his channel maybe was going in one direction and he wanted to get it going in another one. YouTubers do that all the time. That's the only reason I could think of. He would do 2 Kathleen Kennedy and a Captain Marvel fucking video praising him all at once. Yeah. He works with John Campea, man. I mean, he's like the saner version. He's much saner, and he seems like a nice guy. And I definitely like sit down and have a cup of coffee with him, have a conversation. But don't agree with him with Kathleen Kennedy at all. But you gotta kind of see JPRPH1. He's a creative. He's not going to talk shit about anybody. He's not going to be real. He'll lose. He's already blackballed enough, because of his Axonar affiliations. Poor guy. But like he works with people. He's there. You got to play the game. You got to play the game, and unfortunately, it will affect your YouTube game. There's no creative who's going to be real with you at all about anything, because it will get them blackballed and fired. Coming out against Star Trek Discovery, not that edgy. I'm sorry. It's just not. It sucks. The show's bad. It's laughably bad. So for people who defend it, it's just, I don't even bother. I mean, like, that's like defending Plan 9 from outer space. It really is.
That movie's great for all the wrong reasons.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sorry, you have horrible taste if you think that is good. You can like it. There's liking it and thinking it's good. Difference. But yeah.
Dude, Zippo Fanatic. Dude, you're making me laugh. You're allowed to not like my content. You're also allowed to call me a monster too, because I am one.
Check out his channel. He pushed one down the stairs.
Here he's talking about how I hate puppies.
You hate puppies?
I hate puppies? No, I don't hate puppies.
You got a dog. I was going to say you got a dog.
I have 3 dogs.
Yeah. I love puppies. They taste great.
Yeah, that's kind of. I wanted to go there. It's like, yeah, they taste great with the some barbecue sauce. Yeah,
I have 3 dogs.
Hate them. I love them for
3
dinner.
doggos.
Yes.
Next live stream, I'll bring in one of my doggos and show them off. Yeah. No, I was dumbfounded. I even commented JPRPH1 on one of his one of the things he said, dude, was fucking unbelievable. You could have your opinion about this, but he shot back with, basically he said, and if you don't like this, if you don't like her, well, that's the reason you're a fan and she's the producer. I went, what? Okay, so, and that's the sentiment in Hollywood. It's such a career-based place. You get all of your identity, like your little fucking name badge that says Lucasfilm on it. That can make somebody feel instantly better about themselves. It could also make somebody suicidal if they lose their job. That's how much it means to them. That's their complete identity. That's what Hollywood is. Your identity is wrapped into what you do, what your status is, and that's kind of the world too. But it's just amped up a million times there.
Yeah. I know. Like it's like that. That's how being like a CEO is. So much of your life and your identity is really kind of wrapped up in the company.
So let me lay some truth. I wouldn't trade my position for Kathleen Kennedy in a million fucking years. I wouldn't want her job. I wouldn't want to be her. Yeah. I wouldn't want to do what she does ever. I wouldn't want to change any of my experiences. I love where I am right now. I am completely comfortable in my skin. I love it. I don't give a shit what people say. I have nobody telling me what to do. She's got to kiss Bob Iger's ass every fucking day. I would never fucking do that. Fuck that shit. You know how much ass you have to kiss in Hollywood every day? It's ridiculous. I'm surprised people don't walk around with fucking brown rings around their mouths all day.
I also think
I'm talking about in the lowest rings of it. What it does to your humanity down there?
I think when you start climbing up to those positions too, you start sacrificing parts of your humanity.
Oh, I totally agree. Yeah. Oh yeah. For sure. In any like a CEO position and high positions in politics and stuff. Yeah, you start unhuman. You start doing that. Hi, how you doing, buddy?
Well, you stop seeing people as people and start seeing them as assets.
Yep. I think it goes way farther than that too. I think.
Well, yeah. I know it does. It does.
But I got you on that one. Yeah. No thanks. No fucking thank you. I don't need to be a multi-millionaire. I never wanted to be. It's just not a goal. Happy. But again, that's that sum of life experiences. Like I've Kathleen Kennedy's done things I will never do. She's made these help make these amazing pieces of art that are millions. She's dealt with money. I will never, like, for one movie, I will never see that much money in my lifetime. But if I've also survived things Kathleen Kennedy would never survive. So
That's true.
yep. But that's okay. She's brilliant, and she's brilliant, and really shitty at running Lucasfilm still. Detached from the fan base, has no idea what they want, does not care, does not owe the male audience anything, and that is her words.
Well, if you want to keep your franchise going, then you might want to reconsider that statement.
That statement shows you she's wrong for the job.
Yeah.
It's all summed up right there. And the work shows you she's wrong for the job. How many good Star Wars movies have come out under her watch?
I would say none.
I will be objective. One. I'll give Rogue One. I'll say Rogue One was good. Good. Wasn't terrible.
It wasn't terrible, but it wasn't great either. I mean, and that's again one of the movies that I thought was great seeing it, but when I saw it more and more, I was just like, dude, this movie really does suck. You know, the only thing it really had going for it was the fucking Vader fight at the end.
Yeah, you take that out and it's a different movie. I agree. Jyn Erso punching out stormtroopers with her bare fists.
Yeah,
I had a little problem with, but I liked Donnie Yen.
Donnie Yen was. I mean, there was some good characters in it. I really liked K2SO, but he was like the only interesting character I felt in the movie.
Alan Tudyk.
That's Alan Tudyk.
Nerdotic. How many and which comic books is your likeness featured in aside from The Boys and Happy? I am in. I have never found it, but I'm in a Batman story that Derek drew about Killer Croc, and I'm a Gotham City police officer. I'm in a Black Mask comic called Ballistic. What? Yes. So when Black Mask started, it didn't start as some SJW trash. It actually started, it wanted to be something else. So Derek Robertson and Adam Mortimer Egypt, I can't remember his last name. He's a screenwriter. Black Mask started as a place where screenplays go to get made. So they couldn't get picked up in Hollywood, so they made them into comics so they get picked up in Hollywood.
Makes sense.
That's why Black Mask was created. I was around during the creation. Yeah. So Derek was there in the very beginning, and he did a book called Ballistic, which is done in a Jeff Darrow style. It's some of Derek's best art, and it's every machine is a living thing. So there's a electronic, there's an air conditioner repairman who owns a gun that is sentient and can talk. Called Ballistic, and it's a pretty good story, to be honest. Adam Egypt Mortimer, I think. So I'm in that one too. God, I'm in something else. I can't remember. I have the original art somewhere. I think I might be in Oliver. I was supposed to be in Oliver. I don't know if I stayed in Oliver. Because he started Oliver like 10 years ago, but then he picked it back up again. And that's the Gary Whitta book with but that might be it. That might be it. The Boys and Happy are the ones that are most prominent. Gareth Edwards doesn't actively hate Star Wars, says Nitrium. I agree with that. Yes. But Kathleen Kennedy does actively hate a portion of her fan base, and she should try to work on making peace with every possible fan you can, trying to appeal to every possible fan you can, but she's simply not interested. And I think the people who still side with her politically. That's it.
Probably.
They can't objectively tell me they are cranking out good movies. I want to talk to everybody who says Captain Marvel's a good movie in 3 years and tell me that again.
Oh, yeah. I think after the politics dies down, you're gonna have, people coming out. criticizing it. Yeah.
Yep. All right. You're right, Michael Blair. I need to sign the hell off. I need to get going. Dr. Venkman, $5. What if we are aliens that came here from another solar system, but everyone who remembered is dead now? Would it make a difference? That's a good question.
This kind of sounds like Scientology.
That's Dr. Venkman. I'm going to think about it because Dr. Venkman is my favorite viewer, and I'm his favorite YouTuber. And I don't knock puppies down the. No, that was Zippo who said that. $5. Thank you, Dr. Venkman. Michael Blair, $4.99. Just send off. Thanks, Gary. No, I'm going to torture you. We're going to do 2 more hours. No, it's all about long goodbyes here. I don't know when to shut the fuck up. Jedi Knight, friend to Alita. By the way, that Blu-ray, is it out? Alita? I got to get it. Saw you on Robert Meyer Burnett's Kathleen vid. Look at my comment there for a laugh. I insulted KK and triggered SJW's bat. I will check it out. RMB is being hypocritical, unsubbed from him. Apparently a lot of people did. Here, hang on. When did he do that?
You pull up a Social Blade?
Yeah, when did he do that? I know, we'll find out. We'll find out. I honestly think he might have done it on purpose.
You never can tell.
You never can tell. Oh, I don't know how to spell his. I'm gonna read another super chat while I learn how to spell. Where'd they go? I'm gonna get a webcam and grow our fandom army because I'm awesome as fuck. Also, go Broncos. Wales vagina is at least is my least hated team in the division to be fair, says Blue-Eyed Scorpio. I love Blue-Eyed Scorpio's confidence. Yeah, dude. And if you need any advice, hit me up, man. I'll help you no matter what. And yeah, please start a channel. The more the merrier. The more the merrier. There's plenty of room.
If it's just a few of us, they can easily silence us. The more voices out there expressing their dissent, it becomes a little bit more overwhelming. They can't silence us all.
The one thing I don't stand for, personal philosophy here, I put up with a lot. I'm very loyal to my friends as long as, it's reciprocal, but I'm extremely loyal to my friends. The one thing I do not stand for and I exit out of my life immediately is petty jealousy. Petty jealousy means you don't trust me, means you don't really like me. And I have a philosophy me and Mrs. Nerdotic share. Don't let anyone slow your roll.
Mm-hmm.
Don't let any of your friends, your friends are going to there's a difference between calling you on your shit, which is very important.
Yes.
And then actively trying to undercut you, passive aggressive. Yeah. I'm sure you've had a friend like that,
Oh, I think we've all had friends like that.
Yep. And I've had friends like that. And you know what? When I finally come to the realization that day, that, oh, this person's not out for me. I don't know why they hang out with me, but they clearly don't like me. Okay, well, I'll make it easy. Bye. That's it. And then I don't think about them again. It makes life a lot easier. Don't let people slow your roll. A lot of people do that out of jealousy and, God, people get mad when you work out. It's like, I'm sorry, I work out. Yeah. It's good for you.
No, yeah, it is good for you.
Yeah.
More people should do it.
More people should do it. Go take a walk. It's fantastic. And if you can't, you're not a bad person. A lot of people are too busy or physically can't, or don't need to, or don't want to. It doesn't make you, it's just a lot of that going around, but
it's dumb. It's really dumb. I mean, I think the main thing is we should celebrate the successes of those around us and learn from it. It's like, that's the key thing is you got to learn from your mistakes and you need to make yourself successful.
And I get inspired. Like Jeremy inspires me. Jeff inspires me. EVS inspired me. Zach inspired me. Englentine inspired me. I mean, there's a lot of people out there who I learned a lot from.
Mm-hmm.
And and I'm grateful for them for it. So I'm almost there, guys. And then we can end this.
The end is
I'm not. Well, I mean, like, God. That's why. Because I typed it in wrong. Oh yeah. Oh
you
yeah.
gotta screen share that shit.
He did a Kathleen Kennedy video and 2 Kathleen Kennedy videos. A Captain Marvel one. Oh, that's almost like the order I do them in, except they're not so nice. Well, I don't do Kathleen Kennedy videos though. Not yet. I talk about her on my live stream. I'm saving my Star Wars stuff for when Star Wars is around.
Yeah. That's probably the leading up to it. Once we start hitting like November,
yeah,
maybe a little sooner than that, but yeah, that's going to be prime Star Wars material creating season.
I don't want to put him on blast. So I was 4 days ago. 4 days ago. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. It wasn't terrible. It wasn't. He didn't. No, he did fine. He was in a positive, but not a lot. That's what, you know what, that goes with his channel is all live streaming, so he's growing like a live stream channel would grow. So a live stream channel gets like 5 or 10 subs a day, and that's all you're ever going to get. You're never going to blow. You might get 20, which is still good. It's great. But if you start dropping 10-minute videos in here, it turns into 100, 200, 300, sometimes 500, sometimes 1,000, depending on if the video hits or not. It's really important that you do those short 10-minute videos. Very important. Unless you don't care, which is probably the best way to go, is to not give a shit. And then do live streams, because live streams are the most fun to do. Sitting here and editing by myself for a couple 3, sometimes it's 1 hour, sometimes it's 8, is not as fun as doing this. This is
recording is very time consuming.
So, but he only gained 2 subs that day. But I mean, his average is like 10 or 12, so he doesn't care. He's on freaking John Campea, who I have a higher social blade ranking than he does. That was a red letter day for me. I'll admit it. I'm a little competitive, and when I have a higher social blade ranking than John Campea, I just went, yes,
fuck yeah,
fuck yeah. All right, let's finish this up. What's your opinion on Vic Mignogna case? Joni Bologna trying to start stuff right at the end. I stand with Vic. I think Vic is being railroaded by a bunch of his ex-friends out of petty jealousy. And yeah, I'm sure there was some touchy-feely, and things that were okay 10 years ago because of Me Too are not okay. There is some groping that is not okay. Trust me. But I think he just did some very passive, what I've heard. I haven't heard or seen any evidence that tells me anything other than this is a coordinated attempt to take a human being down.
Yeah.
If I'm wrong, if I see evidence, I will apologize. No, I won't apologize, but I'll say I was wrong.
Well, that's the big thing is evidence. You have to have evidence when you make accusations. And so far, I have not seen anything coming in that is credible evidence. I haven't really kept my finger on the pulse of what's been going on, but as last time I checked in with it, I haven't seen anything.
Let me put it this way: there's a pretty sharp lawyer, Nick Rekieta, who live streams to 5,000 or 6,000 people every night, and breaks the case down pretty well. Because I'm not a lawyer, so I will listen to him, and he seems to think it's full of shit. So that's what I kind of think right now, just what I've seen. I don't know everything about it, and again, if evidence comes out, then book him, Dano. But until then, he's innocent until proven guilty, and it just looks like some people wanted to get some attention with some accusations, and they probably didn't think things would go this far. So they had to kind of dig their heels in and double down. And now shit's getting real. And shit got real. And these things need to happen, because this Twitter bullying shit and getting people fired. We had the Oberlin College case today, which good for that fucking bakery. I hope they shut that college down.
What happened with this?
So a college got some black kids shoplifted from a bakery. Bakery catches them. Black kids get in trouble, and then black kids eventually admit to their guilt, apologize, take care of it. It's not even involving them. Oberlin College uses this as calling them racist and drags them through the mud. 3 years of defamatory statements, attacks, trying to shut this bakery that's been around since the 1800s for generations. The bakery sued back a giant institution and won 33 to 40 something million dollars, depending. And
that's fantastic.
That's nothing to that school. I wish it was a much higher suit. I wish they could have named the students in that, but they're immune. The faculty, nobody's going to get fired over this, which they should. They tried. An institution tried to take out an individual. Does that sound fucking familiar? That should be fought every time.
Well, so, that's the thing that's crazy is like the students admit that they were guilty, that they did do it. And
yeah,
the insanity of that school, that's stupid.
So things are turning around.
That's really stupid.
Have you seen the deep fake video of Jon Snow apologizing for season 8? Tristan W, I have. And I'm actually going to make that part of my next video. Thank you, Tristan, for the $5. Am I saying that right? Tristan for $5. Thank you. Blue-eyed Scorpio, $4.99. I'm going to get. Oh, I've already read that. So saw RBMs. Yeah. Listen, Robert Meyer Burnett, by all accounts, it seems like a really nice guy. All right. We have different opinions about things, but classy guy, completely classy guy. So I don't want to sound like I'm ripping on him personally. I still think he's wrong about Kathleen Kennedy, but yeah, that's how it goes. That's it. That's it, folks. I got to go. Time to go. I've got to make videos and you got to go. So plug your channel and tell us what you're doing.
Well, let's see. I kind of got a lot going on, folks. So one thing is I'm actually starting a new website, which is going to be called pixelnation.io. That will be coming probably in a month. Trying to recruit some people to write articles for the site. So, wanting to get into have more, I want to say apolitical voices, but I want to get both sides. I want to have writers on both the left and the right and the center to talk about geek culture. Get the commentary going. Review comics, review movies, stuff like that. So that's going to be coming pretty soon. I just hired a guy to do the logo, and I got the logo back today. It's looking pretty good. So I'm trying to get my shit together with this. So that means that videos might be a bit slow with a few more live streams, but that's kind of what I got in the mix going on. So I'll keep you folks posted if you're interested in checking the site out. As far as the channel's concerned, I know that Christy dropped a link in earlier. The main thing also is, and Gary, you needed this too. Make sure you have a BitChute to back things up. And yeah, so subscribe to my channel, subscribe to my BitChute. God only knows how long we're going to be here because, shit's getting kind of crazy.
It is. I'm writing this out as long as I can. And Nerdotic.com. That's where my focus will be. I've also got a Patreon, which I don't pub enough. We're eventually I'm gonna get down. So my schedule went to shit this week, so I'm gonna have to start my weekly streams in like 2 weeks because summer school and a roof. We had a roof problem in the back over the kitchen. Very bad one.
That sucks.
And I found it thanks to Google Earth.
Are you serious?
Yeah, dude. I was Google Earthing my house and I'm like, that doesn't look right. And it was a newish image, probably from the last year. I'm like, that must be an artifact or something. Went back. Oh, fuck. And my whole, my kitchen's an addition on my house. My house was built in 1910. So the kitchen and the bathroom are an addition. And it's got the roof is sagging, just completely sagging. Not the whole roof. It's not the end of the world, but it's just right before I'm going to do okay, I've set some money aside for traveling and shit. So it's okay. We're going to be fine. It's just one of those things that's home ownership. It's lovely. fucking love it.
It's a
Yeah,
pain in the ass.
never buy a house that's over 100 years old. It's done okay, but yeah, it's kind of a money pit sometimes. Good thing I've been in it for 18 years though. So
Homeowners insurance, man, that should at least cover
it's
some
probably
of that.
going to cover it.
And it's a good thing you found it before like your ceiling caved in.
Yeah.
If it was leaking or
Google
something.
Earth, dude. Do you believe that? I found it
That's
on
crazy.
Google
I
Earth.
had a friend, she had some, I guess, some severe shingle damage to her roof, and her living room, the sheetrock of the ceiling just collapsed.
Wow.
Yeah, it was pretty bad.
Did the homeowners insurance take care of that?
I think it did. This is like maybe like 5 years ago. So
High
yeah,
Plains
but
said she died that night.
I think it got taken care of.
All right, everybody's leaving. Guys, everybody, thank you very much. Go to nerdrotic.com for my live stream schedule. Oh, guys, big news. Oh, I'm sorry about all the people who left. Sunday, I'm on EFAP. I'm on EFAP this Sunday with fucking Mahler. So
Awesome.
yeah. So I'm EFAPing, and then I'm gonna be on the Inquisition. So probably not gonna be doing anything tomorrow. I'm gonna rest the voice, relax a little bit. EFAPing Sunday. It's gonna be fun. I'm taking on 3 people who don't like the Expanse, and I'm going to be defending the Expanse. I'm going to be the lone Expanse defender.
Wow,
and
that's gonna be tough, man.
You're going to see how I bob and weave, because you can't talk me out of my opinion. I mean, like, if people want, I don't know. It's like, yeah, Maulers. I'm going to be on the EFAP. So yeah, and then I do have a Game of Thrones video coming up, but if you have not checked out my DC Comics used to smuggle meth to Australia video, it's like woefully underwatched. If you could like, share, and subscribe that one, that would be great. That's not going to get love from the algorithm. It says the word meth. Nobody cares about DC Comics anymore, but yeah, I just thought it was a funny story. So for those of you who've watched it, thank you very much. I do appreciate it. Everybody have a great night. Do be good do be good to each other. I can talk, and we do good here because we hang out. We're not out hurting anybody. We are here having a good time. See you on Monday for the Nerdotic Nooner, but also Sunday for EFAP. Take care, everybody, and may the free folk sing songs of your greatness.